and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 76, your weekly dose of PiGosaur Cup action. I'm of course VIP with you, and joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome, and all. I do apologize for going live a little bit late here today, just on some technical issues. We had some tech issues coming into the stream, and it took a while to resolve them, but should be all good. Should be all good. Should be all fixed as we can now settle into our broadcast. Let's go, Bible. Let's go. Let's get curious again. This is going to be a replay cast of PiGosaur Cup number 76. Again, we are just now catching up with all the previous PiGosaur Cups we did miss out on. Every now and then, you know, we would miss one, something would come up and weren't quite available, but now we're here to fully catch up with PiGosaur Cup just in time for tomorrow to go live with PiGosaur Cup number 80, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it 79? 80, yeah. 80 is this week, so we should be able to catch up with PiGosaur Cup live, of course, with all the live coverage, but otherwise today we're just still playing catch up. Let's go. We're going to be jumping into the quarterfinals, jumping into a TVT between Cure and Percival. Let's go. Let us go. We have our first matchup. We have our first series. Likewise, later on tonight, we are going to be going live with the Sparkling Tuna Cup. The Tuna Cup is going to be live this evening. Bearing in mind that Tuna Cups are usually over the weekend, but the reason why Tuna Cup is tonight is because of RSL. We don't want to clash with our rival StarCraft League. It's another big major event that's going on, so waiting for it to conclude. Until then, we are going to be hosting it during the week instead. During the week, but here we go. We're jumping into our series, jumping into our first matchup, and spawning in the top left hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the orange Terran player, the South Korean Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player, we have the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. Let's go. Let us go. We are jumping into our TVT, and what I will say is that Percival has been improving his Terran versus Terran quite heavily over the past couple of months. Again, Cure is coming as a favorite player, but Percival, he has been playing and beating Bjorn on a very regular basis. Beating him in GSL, beating him in Open Cups. So Percival, his TVT has been improving quite heavily. Big reason for that is just a non-stop TVT practice against players like Bunny, Bjorn, Cure, Maru, Ryung. There's a lot of Terran players in Korea, and Percival, his TVT has been forged through the flames of the Korean server, and is honestly quite solid nowadays. Honestly, quite solid. I still stand by saying that Percival, his current weakest matchup is TVZ, but against Terran and against Protoss, he does excel. Actually, he's a very fast player. He does thrive when it comes to timing attacks and when it comes to multi-pronged aggression coming into the mid game as well. We'll see if he can get there. TVT can be very chaotic, of course. So far, double gas opener out of Cure, single gas out of Percival. This means that Percival is going for a faster CC, is going for a more economic start. Instead, the pressure is going to be on the orange Terran to get some damage done. Also, welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is one of the smaller maps of the map pool, typically does favor aggression and all-in, so that's the direction that we're going to be heading in. We'll see if we try to slow things down and embrace a longer game state. For the most part, though, we're expecting aggression out of our two players. Now that we are going to be settling in, and we'll see where Cure takes us, whether we go Reactor Reaper Hellion, a commitment into Cyclones, tank play, into Woodmine drop, or into drop play, or into even earlier Banshees with the faster factory, to faster starport. Is Cure 1-to-1 base all in? He is definitely 1-to-1 base all in other matchups. I'm thinking of TVP specifically, but in TVT, unless you're proxying, like, we should be opening up in a standard fashion and expanding. There it is. The CC is going to be on the way. The initial Reaper does make its way across the map as well. Ooh, and I believe Cure does shoot first. It's close. Yeah, it's quite close. Percival, he does back off, does pull away. Coming in with a surround. Oh my god. Very nice flank, and Cure has to get the hell out of here, has to pull out, and has to retreat. Oh boy. There we go. Does pull away, does retreat. From here, we're going to be securing ourselves bunkers on the way, CC on the low ground as well, and again, Percival so far looking good. Behind this, it is going to be Reaper Hellion, no reactor in sight, but a commitment nonetheless. The goal here is to get economic damage. Bearing in mind that Reaper Hellion does not scale well into a longer economic game, it does have a bit of a lifespan on it, so you do have to get damage as quickly as possible with this. Bust into the middle line to get some SCVs before you do get outscaled. Speaking of, dipping into main. Hellion doesn't come into play, but takes down the Marine. Yeah, it overwhelms the Marine, overwhelms the Reaper as well, gets an SCV, but the Hellion will deter. Will deflect. So Percival, he does defend, does bleed out a Marine, does bleed out an SCV, but so far some sustainable losses here. can sustain them. Ooh, as we're just diving right into the mineral line. Does dive in, quick reaction, SCV gets pulled away. Oh, one SCV still gets caught. Losing one, losing two. So far, very nice damage here by Cure. If you recall, we just mentioned how Cure, the onus is on him to get damage done when you open up Reaper Heli like this, and so far he is doing damage. Everywhere is going to be cleaned up, but again, 3 SCV kills in total, not a bad trade. Give me another. Oh, one more volley. Ooh, not quite. Not quite here. The Hellion does survive. In the end, Cure is cleaned up, and again, Cure was able to take down 3 SCVs and 3 Marines. In doing so, Cure evens up the worker counts. Remember, Cure was behind. He was behind economically because of his build, because of his late CC, so killing all those workers actually evened things up. Ideally, he would have liked to have gotten ahead, but regardless, does even things up. Behind this, building up his own bio-tank setup. Ooh, and Percival, he does rush into a 3rd CC. Hyper greed out of Percival. With this, with a faster 3rd CC, he'll have a faster 2-base saturation, and of course, faster 3-base saturation as well, into a boosted economy, into a stronger mid-game. That is at least the goal here for Percival, to have that advantage. Meanwhile, Cure, he's going for his own tank production, his own Raven production, slightly later 3rd base, but not by too much. This does mean that Cure is going to have the greater main army. The greater main army here, he's going to have the higher tank counts, and that is something that Percival's going to have to overcome. Good play. It's going to come down to positional play, of course. Percival also opting to go for the faster stim. You can see here there's still no tanks, by the way. Still no tank production out of Percival. This is risky. Tanks are typically the bread and butter of TVT. They can be very difficult to break, but of course, going for a faster stim, going for more Raxes already, this does lead into a more mobile composition from Percival to be able to have a counterattack, bypass the army, or even stim into the army and into tanks and try to catch them out unattended. So this is very Beyond-esque here, which is typically how Percival does play TVT. Again, it's a very active style, and it's high risk, high reward, right? It's like if you're able to outmaneuver and outposition and get away with this drop play and get away with these dives, then you can excel. But if you fail to, as the Raven does barely get out of range of that lock-on. But if you fail to get damage done, then you just get outscaled. So here we go. Initially, we do have a couple of SCV kills. Raven does get behind the mineral line, does get 2 SCVs across the map, but likewise 4 SCVs also did go down as well. I believe the Raven did survive. Yeah, Raven does make it back. It's just a missional Raven harass. Here does pick out with his main army. The Mivek got spotted. Percival is aware, and Percival, he's got 1 tank against the 3 of Cure. Bearing in mind disables are a factor as well. Oh, the flank, and he gets spotted. No, yeah, he does get spotted, and 1 second gets picked off immediately. Yeah, Cure catching Percival out. Percival, he's in danger, he's in trouble. Go to the Raven. Oh, we'll lose one actually. Oh my god, Raven goes down. That should not have happened. Yeah, massive pickoff. Now there's no disable. There's not enough energy for the disable. The first tank may be able to hold on. Here come the counter disables. That's 1. Oh. Yeah, a bit of a waste there when it comes to that disable. In the end, runs out. Depot falls. And Percival is being contained. Being contained, a nice disable as tanks, they once again get within range. Sniping another tank. And again, sure, it's nice that Percival, he got early stim and he got early Marines, but like he cannot keep up. Not like this. He's got a flanking Marine army. He's stimming in. He's going for it. Yeah, does go for the dive. Doesn't save one of the tanks. The other 2, they focus fire. Yeah, they focus fire the Marines. Marines are going down. Tanks do fall. Percival's holding. He is holding on to here. Did cost him a couple of SCVs, but again, he does hold on. Behind this, Cure is on 3 bases. He's freely riding here on 3 bases. Likewise, Viking harass into the main. He jumps in. Jumps into the main base, catching up 5 SCVs. Can we get a tank as well? Ooh, not quite. Hopping up. Nice control. Nice micro. The Vikings have to pull away. Ooh, another Viking does get picked off. So a little bit messy here by Cure. But at least Percival survived. He was able to survive, able to barely hang on there. barely cleaned up all the tanks, barely held on, did cost him all his marines, but hey, he claims his third. Now Percival is still behind. He's very far behind actually in the worker count. So things are looking very, very rough here for Percival. We have to get something done. He does have medevacs, he's got drop play available to him. He doesn't really have many marines though, unfortunately, because of all the losses earlier, and now even more CV losses. Yeah, we're committing. We're just committing with everything. Scan reveals the move out, so Cure, he's now fully aware. He's setting up back at home. He's got his sensor tower, he's got his tank line. So far, so good. Cheeky move out of Percival, going for the Doom job. Liberator till Siege, 12 SCV kills. Again, Percival, he's all in. He's completely all in. There's a turret in position. Cure's main army is not. Medevac save boost in. It's all or nothing. Does go for the siege. Boys are being pulled. We're trying to get on top of the tanks. And the last Curie does not get in. He does not get on top of the tanks, not yet. Waiting for his reinforcements. Waiting for the flank. Ready for the surround. Oof. Brutal tank shots. Nice target firing at a Percival. Does get one of the tanks, but Cure will clean this up. And he'll clean this up. Dives on top of the tanks. One. Both tanks go down. And with that, Curie still maintains the worker lead, still maintains his 3 bases, and still maintains the larger army as well. And that was it. Oof. As the harass continues. Yeah, Percival moving in with a second army. But again, it's smaller than the first. Tends to move in. Thankfully, I believe the Raven count was reset. No, the Ravens are harassing. Okay. I was going to say if we still have Ravens, we can disable the tanks and then break through, but alas, they are harassing across the map instead, killing more and more SCVs. That's 7. That's going to be 8, 9, 8. 8 SCVs go down. Medevac dropping to the main base. Once again, we have additional turrets this time. Turrets to deflect. And here comes Cure. Oh, the tank though. He's gonna respect the siege line. Cure, he needs to respect it. Oof, Percival gets caught. Percival is called out. Likewise does dive into natural. Massive Jesus, he takes over the control of this area of the entrance. Oh no, the tank shots. Oh my god, massive connections. The Marines get punished by the tanks. Curie gets in, GG gets called, and Curie takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Curie does take the lead in the series. Once again, winding it all the way back here, it came down to the initial openers. Percival, he tried to go for a greedy build, went for faster TC, and we saw that Cure did punish him. Curie moved that across the map. He was able to lay siege upon the attempted third location, was able to take better fights, better trades, harass at the same time, and take a massive lead from there. From then on forward, it was Percival playing from behind. Just playing from behind, trying to catch up, and alas, was not able to. GG. GG well played. With that, Cure takes the lead in the series, and we'll see if we can shift gears here. Again, Percival, he went for a greedier build instead. We'll see if we do shift gears and open up more aggressively as we load into Tourmaline, one of, if not the most aggressive map in the map pool. Let's go. Let us go. Again, Tourmaline has a very short rush distance by ground, very accessible bases. Again, we do often see shorter games here. And again, Percival, he was mainly going for a more greedier, more economic style here on Ruby Rock, which is surprising to me. We'll see if he does commit to that or if he does change that. As in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the orange Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player, the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. as we are going to be settling on in. From here, we'll see how we open up. Again, Cure last game did go for a double gas opener into a more aggressive style. We saw Percival go for the more economic opener instead. We'll see if that trend continues here. Again, welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline, shorter rush distance, expose and open natural base, expose and open area outside of the natural, direct rush distance across the map. There's nothing to really stop any kind of push except for the terrain here, except for the specifically tall grass in the dead center. Outside of that, it's just a direct path across the map instead. And aggression is often favored here. It's quite rare to see longer and later games on Tourmaline. Not saying we'll never see it, like it still does happen. Still does happen from time to time, but for the most part, aggression is what we're looking for here. And we'll see. I mean, so far already, no proxies. No proxies, no shenanigans. So far, everything's on the up and up. The Raxes are in their respective main bases. And once again, Percival does go for an economic build. This time, so does Cure. Mirrored builds. Mirrored builds here. Faster CCs on the low ground. Again, there's that natural factory follow-up. Last game we saw that Percival did go for a more marine heavy composition, and in the end it did not pay off. In the end, his bio armor was still just completely shut down by the mass tank. But it was also on the back foot, to be fair. It's on the back foot. Now, despite the initial openers here, it is going to be a faster factory out of Percival. Cure instead is going for a bit of a later one. As he did open up Reaper. Percival opened up Marine. So again, Percival, he basically held onto his gas and spent it on his factory. Meanwhile, Cure did go for Reapers for early game map control as he moves out. Does move out. Percival moving out with his own as well. Just the one though. Just the one, then into Marine, then into Bunker. Percival, he will delay the CC. Okay, not bad. It's gonna be close. Can he get it? Oh my god, barely doesn't delay the command center. Does kill the SCV, but alas, the CC does complete. Gets into the main base. Hey, kills another worker. This time does lay the factory. Lays the factory. Hellion pops up back at home. Catching up the Reapers. We'll clean them up. They get scouting information at least, but only scouting information. And that Reaper is still wreaking havoc in the main base, by the way. Still more damage. 3 SCVs, 9 mining time. This is a brutal start for Cure. This one Reaper is popping up. And even scouts the 3rd CC. Wow, fast 3rd CC this time from Cure, and Percival's fully aware. He even kills the SCV. 4 SCV kills, 9 mining, full scout as well, and even delays in a kind of follow-up aggression. This is a very rough start here for Cure. Yeah, it's a shaky start. Percival, you can pull back to the tall grass. Doesn't get baited. Cure does not get baited. He does pull back. Getting into his own delayed starports. Meanwhile, faster medevac and faster push out of Percival. Again, he knows about the greed. He knows that he's coming. He's rallying across. Everything he has. Once again, does move out. And again, back in home, it's going to be a tough hold. There's going to be one tank in a couple of seconds. It's going to be one tank to defend. First he moves in. What does he lock onto? The Reaper. Yeah, Reaper's going to be focused down. Oof. Reaper does fall. Boys are being pulled. So far, good kiting here by Percival. He does pull away. And he will kill every SCV here. Oh, the juggling saves the Cyclone. 7 SCV kills. Does drop into the main. Rotate in. Can we lock onto the tank? We can. Yeah, tank is locked onto, taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. Oh my god, still within range. Jesus. As the tank almost goes down. Again, that's the backbone of the army here for Cure. Gotta be careful. Meanwhile, big shout out to Super Kaito in the chat. God, yeah, thanks so much. Thanks so much for subscribing for 48 months. That's a lot of months, Papi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, the star. God, good to see you, Papi. Good to see you. Thank you for the support. So we do catch out 3 more CVs. Again, the drop play continues here. Likewise, Raven has into the natural, and Cure's just being torn apart. Despite the fast CC, he's still miles behind economically. The Viking will zone away the Raven. Drop into the mineral line and catching out, denying more mining, getting another SCV. As Raven does not get away. Massive pickup. Okay, something going Cure's way. Takes down the Raven, still down in workers, still down in economy. Now, I believe what Cure does have is a tank lead. Yes, he has 3 tanks to 2. So, technically, tank advantage in favor of Cure. Does have that advantage. Cure moves out across the map. So it's time to push. Vikings are massing out for Percival, trying to fight for air control. When it comes to the Ravens, we have 1 and 1. Disable is not actually upgraded for Cure. He does have an auto turret though. He has a turret. Ah, no. Oh, and yeah, we have more Vikings. Percival has more Vikings. He can pull back the army. He can also disable the tank as well. Percival, he has the advantage. And Cure still cannot move in. He's besieged. Ooh. Vikings, they almost catch out the Viking of Cure. Casito. Cure slowly backs off. Does get spotted. Here comes the chase. At the same time, a drop distracting across the map. Ooh, doesn't quite unload. Just a handful of Marines. First, we're gearing up with a couple of disables. He has what, 2? Doesn't quite commit. From here, we can get a 4th CC. So now he rotates. He rotates over towards the 3rd. Cure will see if he can keep up with that rotation. Oh, gee, accidentally pulled the boys. And the armies, they spot each other. Oh. Now, Cure, I believe he has taken a Viking advantage now. He's got 7 to 6. Look at the Vikings. As the armies are distracted, Marines, they go for a massive counterattack. Back at home, there's only a handful of Marines to defend. Yeah, not enough for Cure. Gets into the middle line, more SCV kills, critical damage here. I mean, Percival, he was already ahead. Now he kills 20 SCVs. 21 SCV kills, insane damage. Don't like this. Don't like this. Oh boy. Now, a massive mistake and a massive blunder when it comes to a main fight. Percival, he should be able to run away with this. There's always a chance, of course, there's always a chance that Percival, he miscontrols Cure is pre-siege, and then Cure gets like 1 or 2 volleys off in the main army, does kill a couple of tanks early on, and then things go in his favor. Or even here where we throw away some drops, then we run into Marines. Like, there are some opportunities here for Cure, but as I'm kind of alluding to, Cure is hoping and relying on Percival making mistakes. Like, Percival, it's on him to make mistakes, and then Cure to try to capitalize on that. Or you could argue for Cure to try to force mistakes and try to keep apart some of the attention of Percival and take advantage of that as well. It is difficult when you have the deficit, and we have such a deficit as this to try to force mistakes. But that is the hope for Cure. As for now, he's just turtling up. He's turtling up. Best case scenario is that Percival, he tries to attack into the siege line. I still think that Percival can, just straight up can, but be the best fight that Cure could hope for. Percival, he does commit. Does scan ahead of time. And here comes our first disable. Gets 1. And tanks stay siege. Armor shot here on the Vikings. Ooh, and Cure, he might win the battle in the sky. That looks like he barely will. He's got the Viking advantage. Oof, Raven does get picked off. But Percival down to 1 Viking. That's just the one. In the end, I would say that was a better fight for Percival, assuming that he retained his right. No. So both players, they traded their Ravens. Cure maintains the Viking lead. Percival, he's ahead in tanks and heavily ahead in bio in Marines. Vision's being denied. Vikings are repositioning. First, we're taking more bases, taking more control. We have a 5th CC on the way. More expansions back. Cure is going for a big counter attack. I mean, it's a bit of a Hail Mary play. Percival, he's maxed. Cure commits into the main. There is an opening here. There are a couple of turrets that will deter. Nice spread against the tanks. Gets 1. Do we get 2? Does get 2 tanks here. Not bad. So two tanks go down to the 3rd. Marine drop into the main base. Medevacs do full, but hey, unloads and SCVs are falling. So not a bad trade here by Cure. He does get 9, 10, 11 SCVs. Very nice. 13 SCV kills. A messy defense here by Percival. He actually F2'd all the way back home with everything. Oof. Yeah, did race back. Now, the scary thing here is that was a bunch of supply for Cure, and Cure, he was not maxing out. So he's down in supply here. But again, he does cripple some of the economy, and Cure actually takes a worker lead. It's difficult for Percival because he just can't push in. Until now. Cure on sieges. Okay, big on siege. Curie moves out of position, which means now there's a massive opening here at the 3rd. Percival doesn't know. He doesn't know. Now would be the time. Percival gets scanned. Curie rotates back over, establishing a 4th base, and Percival cannot let this get up and running. It's now moving in. There's a scan. Liberation has arrived. It sets up the freedom zones. He does get 1, 2, 3 tanks. Likewise, Cure still has the higher Viking count. But that's still 3 tanks going down and a tank shot on the Marines. So better initial engage. Marines, they do get into the middle line. There's 16 SCVs going down, dropping further into the main, and Cure's being torn apart. Just being torn apart. Cure, he almost recovered. He almost stabilized. He was on the way. He was on the way of doing so. But in the end, he cannot quite keep up. Not with the loss, not with the... not with the disadvantage he had coming into the mid-game. Again, it's still difficult pushing into a siege line without liberators. So 2 more star ports all the way for Percival. 2 more star ports. TVT equals easy. I mean, if you don't watch a lot of StarCraft, then TVT is typically a little more aggressive and a little more high octane. The reasoning for this is Cure fell behind early on. Cure fell behind early on, so he's just been turtling the entire time. Like he's like that's basically what we've been seeing here. Is that Cure, he lost map control, he lost momentum, so he's been stuck at home. But usually, as you saw in game 1, like it's typically a little more aggressive and a little more high octane when it comes to Terran versus Terran. I would say that there were opportunities for Percival to try to end the game earlier and maintain his lead, but he wasn't quite able to find them. Percival has built up to 7 Ravens, opted not to go into Liberators, so 7 Ravens. Here he should be able to mass disable and break this position. He's got the Raven count for it. He's got the Ravens. I like TVT. I mean, every matchup has their own downside, right? I think TVT overall is one of the better mirror matchups. But there are cases like this that because of how the tank works, even if you're ahead, it can be difficult to kill. As we finally get our mass disables, tanks are going to go down. Takes down 1, takes down 2. Gets all 4 tanks. Nice clean up here by Percival. Takes down the 4 tanks. But it's the same with ZVZ, right? Like ZVZ Roach Wars, like no one likes ZVZ Roach Wars. PvP, like when both players are passive and they take their 3rd and 4th bases and they build up into just pure Blink Stalker Gateway Army, it's like the mid game. I want my 1 base all ins, baby. True. That's so the reason why we cast PvP. So once again, Percival does get into the main base. Once again, does push forward. Catching up more tanks, nice anti-armor missile. I still believe herO has the Viking advantage. Yeah, he still has the Viking lead, so it's still going to be a brutal fight here for Percival. Oof. As it doesn't quite break through. Just not enough Vikings back. Not enough Vikings. Percival does try to rotate, throwing down more turrets. Still mass expanding as well. Again, Percival still has had the advantage this entire game. It's been Cure treading water for like 10 minutes. Trying to survive. Again, he had some nice moments, like the drop into the main. Like that was like the big moment for Cure when he was able to kill, what was it, 12 SCVs, 12 plus. That was Cure's moment. Cure does break out, does catch a couple of tanks. A couple of tanks are out of position. I mean, the main army's out of position. Oh, Percival, he responds to this. Ideally, we would have seen Percival push through the center. But he wants to try to catch the main army. Does get the armor shred. Yeah, they shred each other. Ravens are going down. A shaky fight there by Percival. Leading out 3 Ravens. Once again, force the fight. Once again, he still doesn't quite have the Viking advantage. No. We need more Vikings back. Dude, we have 20 Vikings for Cure. Cure. He understood the assignment. 20 Vikings back. Insane. Again, TVT is all about air control. If you lack air control, you cannot move in. Like, you need that air superiority here over your opponents. And that's keeping Cure in this. There's soon to be 23 Vikings. First he's almost at 20, but yeah, force to fight engage, force to engage once again. We have more Vikings. Now, can Cure max out? If he can eventually max out, he can actually have a threatening force against Percival. As we mentioned before, like for the past 10 minutes, like Cure has been playing catch-up. But if he can max, he can potentially have a superior army. As he's going pure just tank Viking, essentially. Like tank Viking, a couple of Ravens. Making 6 more Vikings at a time. Getting up to like 30? Jesus, what are we, we're getting up to 30 Vikings, Pappy. Crazy. Oh, the Vikings. As nice catch. Catching out 2 Vikings and a Raven. Master Sable here on the tanks. First we is gaining ground, and the Cure he didn't quite max out. He didn't quite get there. Gonna be zoned away. 11 use of the Thors as long as they don't ever extend. Thor's gonna be a great supportive tool here for the Vikings. They can support well. Oof. As Percival does take some shots to the face. So he has to pull away. Thor's do punish. Better fight for Percival. Oh, another Sable. Thor is one of them, does get focused down. Oh no, we saw both. Never mind. We saw both. Yeah, and with that, finally Percival, he does take the win. He does win the fight in the air. For the first time in, like, again, 12 minutes, GG gets called, takes on all the Vikings, and Percival, he will tie the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Percival, he was able to claim an early lead here, able to cripple the economy, cripple the army of Cure early on, referring to the Marine backstab. If you remember, there was a moment where both armies were posturing in the center of the map. Percival, he got across the map with his Marine army, and he was able to get 18 SCV kills. It was insane damage dealt, and Cure, he never quite recovered. He was just playing from behind from the early game, essentially from the early to mid game, and due to the nature of the tanks, and of course due to the nature of the fact that Cure, he just went into mass Viking production at one point, we saw that Percival couldn't quite kill, couldn't quite overwhelm until the very, very end there. Again, the Thors, they played their part. They did support the Vikings very, very nicely. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be getting to the ace match. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Let's go. Let us go. So getting into our ace match. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the orange Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Gyor. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. Let's go. Let us go. So settling into game number 3, settling into the ace match here. Again, Cure, he did have a very rough early to mid game in the last game, losing his advantage or losing momentum early on. We'll see if we can tighten things up here when it comes to positional play and when it comes to our mid game setup. But now we're going to be opening up Welcome to Winter Madness. After some aggressive maps like Tourmaline and Ruby Rock, we can finally calm things down on a larger map instead. Winter Madness does typically favor longer and later games. Unlike the previous map, there are more bases to expand to, and there's also more space in between these bases. I would say it's easier to maintain a 3, 4, and 5 base economy here on Winter Madness. So we'll see. We'll see how we do approach this. Again, a higher chance we do have a longer back and forth. I will say, though, that typically our players do want to avoid that longer later game, specifically Percival, so he's willing to be more active and more aggressive when we get up to 3 bases. We'll see. We shall see. Once again, no proxy. Once again, no proxy, no cheese. SCVs, they move out across the map. Move out. as the SV does get thrown down. Sorry, the CC gets thrown down. It is going to be an economic opener here by Percival. Meanwhile, double gas out of Cure. Interesting. Double gas opener. We do have a faster factory. It looks like Cure was assuming that Percival was going to go for a proxy. We haven't had a proxy yet in the series, and proxies are very common in TBT, especially on Winter Madness because the map is so large. There's a lot of places to hide Raxes. So because of this, there's a lot of pressure on Cure. Percival is ahead economically. We'll take an economic lead. So the onus is on Cure to get across the map to snipe some SCVs. Reaper does move out, does get intercepted. Ooh. Is intercepted. Percival is keeping up. Marine is on the high ground. And shoots first. Yeah, he does shoot first. Cure has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Has to race back. Behind this, Cure is getting to zone Rax and factory follow-up into Reaper Hellion. From here, the goal is economic damage to bust in, to rush past the bunker into the mineral line, and hopefully get 3 or 4 SCV kills. That will be enough to even things up. Oof. Once again, he is punished. Doesn't quite get in. To her 1-1-1 follow-up. Standard follow-up. Hellion will help support. Hellion shot doesn't quite connect. Oof. Bit of friendly fire. Yeah, a little bit. So far, very patient play by Percival. Very nice. Takes down one of the Reapers, and Percival, he defends without losing a single SCV. Ay, ay, ay. Ooh, off center. Didn't even notice. My apologies. Yeah, command center was a little bit off center. That does delay a little bit. Here we go. The Reaper Hellion does ignore the bunker. Percival, he does pull away. Pulls away his workers. Hellion shot does graze the Hellion. Yeah, a lot of hits there for Percival. And Percival, he should be able to clean this up. The boys are being pulled, getting a little bit desperate. Oh, the Hellion shot. Oh no, we're lining up. Oh my god. Here, boys, they pull back, and Percival defends. Yeah, he does defend. In the end, Percival, he lost 1 Reaper, 1 Hellion, 2 Marines. For 2 Hellions and 3 Reapers, so far a better trade for Percival. He does hold, and again, he maintains a stronger economy. As you can see here, Percival, he's up by 3 SCVs. He's up by 3 workers. And Percival is going to extend his lead by going for the faster 3rd CC. Ooh, okay. Part of me believed that maybe Cure would go for the faster 3rd instead to make up for the lost economy, but no, he's playing much more standard, getting into his own Ravens, into Cyclone production. Percival does come out ahead in the early game slightly, and we'll see if he can, again, snowball that into a lead, into a stronger lead, I should say. The pressure is still on Cure. And he's going to move out. Cyclones they found on the right. Marines are in position here on the left. Just ready for any kind of move outs, any kind of drop play. And Cure now goes for a TC on location. Okay. This is a little bit greedy here, but Cure needs to be greedy, right? He has to take chances, he has to take risks, he has to cut corners. So CC on location. Scan across the map confirms the CC on the high grounds and confirms the production setup. Stim alongside interference matrix. Oh, double liberator? Huh. It's a bit odd. You don't often see that this early on. So that's a big risk here, a big gamble for Cure. I mean, obviously liberators, they can excel, they can do a lot of economic damage. We'll see what they can get done. So Cure is rallying across the map. Does rally across. Oh. Catching at the Cyclone. Nice catch out of Cure. It's moving in. Let's move in to go within range of the add-on. Reactor's being focused down. Ooh, and his tank is going to get caught. Ay, ay, ay. Did cost an extra auto turret, so does spend 1 more. Does snipe the tank though. Nice pick up here by Percival. Stim is not yet done. Oof. Oh, the tank shot though. Liberators have now arrived, but I mean, this is now a weaker army. Greek on siege. Do you get the quick on siege? Curie just bullying his way forward. He's got 2 more Liberators behind him. Jesus. He's rallying more tanks, rallying more Liberators. Again, we need that air control. And Percival, does he have to pull the boys to break out of this? So far, still on the edge. Stim is done. And it can disable both tanks. Speaking of, there it is. It does disable. The boys are being pulled. And with that, it'll break out. So yeah, he will break out. He breaks through the Liberators, breaks through the tank line as well. SCVs are falling. That's going to be 8 SCV kills. But first, we'll clean up everything. As I mentioned, did have to pull the boys. That's cost him some of the economy here, but he does break out. And now it's time to counterattack. He needs to. Behind this, Curie's been greedy. Remember, he has been making workers. His third CC on location. Curie's racing back home. Curie did retain his Ravens at least. True. Still has the Ravens. But again, Percival, he's up in tanks, up in Marines, up in Ravens. He's up in Army. The Liberators will make things awkward here. And Percival, he has to break through. Let's pull the tank. The Army slips into the natural just direct. Oh my god. Curie's out of position. Yeah, completely out of position here. Marines, they rush in. They focus on the Liberator. Liberator goes down, takes down both the tanks as well. And again, this setup here just does not help. Curie caught with his pants down. Add-ons are going to be falling. Denies the upgrades. Takes down another Liberator. And the tanks as well. The auto turrets. Oh my god. Yeah, takes down the final tank. And with that, Curie's being he's just being shut down. Being shut down. Third base is going to be falling. Massive tank shots. CC falls. GG gets called. And Percival, he will claim the series 2-1. Advancing on to the semi-finals. So GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very aggressive game here by Curie. I mean, he had to be. Remember, Curie was playing from behind economically, so he was being hyper aggressive. I was shocked to see him rally Liberators across the map out of all things, and he was wedging himself in. But unfortunately, Percival, he was just being so patient. Percival, he was able to pull away his army. He preserved his forces, waited for additional Marines, additional tanks before eventually breaking out and eventually shutting down the army. And of course, Curie didn't really have much to defend back at home. There is a world where if Curie spots a rotation in time that he unsieges and he resieges in position on the ramp outside of the natural, but you saw that that was a gap, right? You saw that there was a gap there was an opening, and Percival just went straight in, and the game did end then and there. GG. GG, well played. With that, Percival, he does claim the series. Sorry, there we go. Percival, he does claim the series. Does advance on. There we go. Does advance on into the next round, where he's going to be up against herO in the next round in the semis. Oh my god. Bearing in mind that for the PiGosaur Cup, they do have a very unique format in the sense that semifinals are best of 5s. These are best of 5s, not best of 3s. So we do have a longer series ahead of us. Let's go. Let us go, as game 1 is going to be on Winter Madness. And again, as I mentioned previously as well, Percival's TVT has been improving heavily. He's been beating players like Bjorn on a very regular basis. Has been improving quite a bit. Can hear of Percival. True. He's been on the rise. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing himself. Currently teamless. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss, the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. So let us go. We're getting into our TVP, and I did mention previously that Percival, I would say his best matchup is Terran versus Protoss. Percival, he is hyper aggressive in this matchup and very successful in set aggression as well. I will see how herO does react and respond, as herO is also known for being very chaotic in this matchup, and it can be quite difficult to try to catch herO off guard. Let's go. For now we have our initial openers. Here is checking for the gas geyser, ensuring that there's no shenanigans going on. Percival, he sent an SCV across the map early on, and herO saw it. Percival knew that he saw it, so he does veer off towards the right and then pulls back. I want to say that Percival initially wanted to go for the eBay block, and you can see that herO's checking. But I believe the plan was the eBay block, but because he got scouted, his eBay block is denied. And you can see he's still keeping that SCV hidden, making it look like he's proxying, or something weird is going on. herO doesn't take the bait, just does expand. Claims his nexus, does spot the SCV returning. And herO pulls out. Does pull out again, single gas opener. Percival's going for the faster command center. Economic build out of Percival. From the side of herO, we're expecting Twilight Council play, but we're loading into Winter Madness. Once we load into these larger maps, that's where something like Stargate openers and Stargate play is definitely viable. It's something that we do see from herO mix in. Again, he can be a very diverse player, very diverse. So eyes are on herO. So now we're building up. Reaper does move out. To have the high ground CC for Percival, so playing it safe, ensuring that he does not get delayed. So once again, Percival pokes in, pulls away. We have our take of choice thrown down here on the low ground. So far unscouted is going to be the Twilight Council out of herO. Most likely into Blink. But the question becomes, 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink Stalker? How many gateways? How aggressive are we going to be? How defensive? How greedy? Here's the second gate. And that does shade in. Does not catch the SCV. Ooh. So herO pulls out. Does barely pull out. And I believe should make it back. Shades back home. Does make it back here. Blink is going to be on the way. There's no crazy like charge based opener. Charge is not uncommon necessarily. Well, it is uncommon, but we do typically see it on smaller maps. Like if you feel like your opponent's going to be hyper aggressive and try to all in, then rushing into early charge can be very useful. As we're throwing down even more gateways. Okay, getting up to 3-gate Blink. 3-gate Blink into the Robo. Very safe play out of herO. Very versatile. Oh! And Percival gets caught. Reaper goes down. And herO's moving in. herO wants to control the low ground. We have an offensive Cyclone. Locks onto the Sentry of all things. Very nice. Sentry goes down. Massive pickup. Takes down the Adept. And Percival holds. And Percival just punishing herO's aggression. So herO has to back off. Oh! herO catches out the Cyclone. Cyclone, oh no, the overextension! Yeah, you saw the medevac boost forward, so the Cyclone did overextend. First, he has to back off, and behind this, third Nexus. So triple gateway, so 3-gate Blink. 3-gate Blink into the third base. herO just playing safe. Just calming down. Likewise, behind this, it is going to be a 3-1-1 setup here out of Percival, just a bio setup here into Biotank. Biotank initially, and then we should be switching out of that. Nice focus firing. Gets 1, 2, 3 Marines. 4. Oh god. 5. 6. This is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand here. Very efficient trades out of herO. Catching out 6 Marines. Behind this, switching to his gateway composition into eventually splash damage. We're leaning towards Colossus, but could be Storm. Now, Blink in charge. Safety Immortals. Percival behind this, still macroing up. Here we're waiting to see if he throws down extra Raxes or a third CC. So far, it's still a little bit too soon to tell. We're just securing ourselves here on 2 bases. Securing that second tank. Again, it should only be 2, max 3 tanks here for Percival before switching out. If we see more than that, then that's typically indicative of something more odd and more aggressive. There's that gateway explosion. Here is going to be delaying his splash damage, going for a very heavy gateway composition. Getting to mass charge lots. Let's drop the scouted. Here is aware. As Personal moves out, here is going to be moving in. Behind this, okay, we're going through 2 base all in. I was going to say, I'm like, there's no third CC yet, and there is no third CC. 2 base all in at a Personal. Here he does hit at the same time, again, just confirming the all in, but here does not see the move out. Did just spot the army. We need those force fields. Army's getting position. Very nice armor shred. And Personal sims in. Nice force fields. Does delay. Oof. Takes one tank shot to the face. The boys are moving in, and there are just not enough zealots here. Not enough to defend. The third base has been broken. Here he has to evacuate. At the same time, jumps into the main base. Does kill SCVs. That's true, but there's barely anything to kill. There's nothing here. Yeah, waste of a warp in. And Percival's gaining ground. He's gaining ground. Takes over the third. Tanks are on siege. We need more zealots. Where are the zealots? We need them. Oh my god. And charge lots, again, they are killing some SCVs at the natural at least. They're getting some damage, but it might not matter. Yeah, it might not matter. Here he knows he cannot engage with the main army. It's too good. Nova goes off, does graze some SCVs. And we're committing to the base trade. Let's go. He does commit. But I have to favor Percival. Like, Percival, he's already in the bases. He's already in the expansions. Oof. Massive tank shots going off. There's one hidden expansion. It's still on the same side as Percival's army, though. And here comes the Great Migration. The Great Migration. Here he does try to focus on that CC. I believe there's only one. Nah, there's 2. There's 2 command centers. He does get one, but the other will float away. Meanwhile, Percival does bust into the main base. If the if the Nexus finishes in time, we can always recall. We can try to save the probes. More Maxes are being chased down. Percival, he's hidden. Wait, recalls into the main? Wait, what? He recalls into tank fire. He pulls the boys. The boys are being pulled. It's crazy recalls. He didn't recall with everything. The Stalkers are still out of position. And the Immortals are being picked apart. That was a very bold recall there from herO. It was questionable. It was a questionable recall. He's destroying his Immortals. He cannot save the main. And he just lost half his army. Blinks into the mine. Oh my god. And with that, Percival's done. That Percival is done. He breaks the main army, cleans everything up. Again, a questionable recall there from herO. Did cost him the army. And with that, Percival's done it. Percival, he's done it. He has the CC. He has the orbital. He has potential mining. These are not the final buildings. It's only 4 Stalkers for herO. herO still has an economy. He can technically rebuild and build up some reinforcements, but this force is just too strong. There's just too much bio. The Raven, Medivacs, Tank, Widowmine. Again, just a crazy recall out of herO. Aye. First, we can keep going. Now here he has a little micro potential. That's true. He has Blink plus the War Prism as well, so we can try to pick away at this army. That's the only chance. The only chance that herO has is to use his control here to nibble away at the forces. Oh, does not get the counter micro back. Saves the Marauder. Hot pickup. Island is spotted.
Base is under attack.
Nexus is found. hero's yet to lose a Stalker. We're up against some Zealots. herO cannot fight this head on. But he's gonna go for it. Yeah, he's going for it. So also spotted. Here we just commit in. Tanks, the tanks take focus on the Stalkers, and there's nothing left. There's nothing here. Down to 2 Zealots. GG gets called, and Percival takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Percival does take the lead in the series. Again, herO, I want to say that herO had enough to actually fight Percival's army, but again, that was just a crazy recall. It was very mistimed. It looked like maybe he was hoping that he could recall and then come in with the Stalkers and then surround and collapse the army in from multiple angles, but it was very mistimed. The recall was on its own, the immortals were thrown away. It was just a very, very, very rough recall there, and GG. GG, well played. Likewise, on top of that, it was just a really unfortunate counterattack out of herO, winding it back when it came to the 2-base all-in itself. It was a 2-base all-in that hit when herO was warping across the map. So he had no defensive warp in, that's why he couldn't hold against the initial all-in, just couldn't keep up with it. GG. GG, well played, and with that, we're now getting into game number 2. Gonna be loading into... where are we dropping? Loading into Necropolis. Oh, true. PiGosaur Cup, they do have a custom map pool for this event. This map was in the TLMC 22 map pool, but did not make it into the top 16. We'll get into it. Here we go. Sweet. All right, jumping in. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Necropolis, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. Top left-hand corner here of Necropolis, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself representing T1. It is herO. Love being able to watch this here. Great to see some matches that Pig wasn't able to get to. Yeah, typically, whenever we live cast, we try to avoid Pig. I mean, that's the case for all tournaments. As casters, they try to avoid each other, just so we can like spread out, cover as many games as we can, and also like cover unique matches. Typically, is what we try to do. Obviously, towards the end of the tournament, like everyone casts the same finals, but prior to that, we do try to spread out. Try to spread out. As from here we are going to be opening up. And again, welcome to Necropolis. Necropolis is an interesting map in the map pool. I believe this was used for the last season of RSL. Here we have a high ground natural expansion with a bit of a wider ramp coming into it. We do have likewise high ground 3rd and high ground 4th base locations. There are some ways to take advantage of this. I will say that the bases, they do spread out a little bit as we claim our 3rd, 4th, and 5th expansion. And likewise, the center of the map is a little bit more complex with high ground points of elevation. I do enjoy the setup here that we do have on Necropolis. I do recall, I think this was a resubmission. Yeah, I do. I remember this setup specifically. How I recall there being a bit of an issue when it comes to rotations and when it comes to tank positionings here pushing in towards the 3rd base. That was like a bit of a concern that we had last season. This is a resubmission from TLMC 21, but I think changes were made. Changes were made. But again, alas, unfortunately, didn't quite make it into the top 16. So here we have our initial setup. Actually, I don't even recall if this map was even resubmitted to TLMC 22. AVEX had a lot of maps. Those who don't know, AVEX is one of the more experienced map makers, and I would say that nowadays AVEX, he's one of those map makers that is willing to kind of like push the boundaries on like weird stuff and unique ideas, for better or for worse at times. This is one of the more standard maps, I would say. From here we have our Twilight Council behind this. Twilight Council going to blink once again, and Percival, he will dip in. It does dip in for a scout. Does catch out a probe, not bad, gets 1. Gonna get up to 2. Yes, here he rallied everything. He rallied the Stalker and the Adept across the map. Had that much less to defend. Who has nice control here by Percival, as he will lose one SCV as well. So 1 probe for 1 SCV. Mining is being denied. I was so far a better setup for herO. It was worth it. May have lost a worker, but he does deny mining. It's mining. Bullies the Marines. Yeah, still lack of saturation for Percival. And the herO is moving out with another Stalker. There's a recall. It does recall. Does respect the army. Back at home, how many gateways? We have 2 more gates on the way, going into 3-gate blink, into a robo as well. So a very robust mid-game here by herO, building up in towards 3 gates. With this, we can be a little bit more aggressive, we can be a little bit safer, but this does typically lead into a 3rd expansion. Into a 3rd base. It's going to be on Percival to still gain more damage to recover. Did open up Reaper Hellion. Does threaten a dive, but so far herO is in position. Likewise, aggressing onto a high ground natural base is quite difficult. Stalkers are keeping up. And Reaper Hellion is deflected. Percival behind this going for the mine drop follow-up. Bearing in mind last game, Percival did go for a 2-base all-in off of a 3-1-1 setup, and we're getting into that same situation here. There's still going to be an option for Percival to expand and get a 3rd CC. So we'll try to confirm. As the drop does come in. So far, catching at a probe. No major damage. But the Water Mine does survive. We can always go back in. We can always go back in for another drop, another dive. The rush distance by ground is quite long, actually. It's as herO, he moves out, this time with a War Prism, so it looks like he wants to commit. You can reinforce. And behind this, what do we have to defend? We have 1 tank in the main base, no tanks at the natural, only bunkers. There's an opening. There is an opening here. And here he's going for the Warp in, he's pushing. Might drop back into the main. So far, 2 probe kills. And with 2 bunkers, Percival, he should be able to hold on. We dive in the Raven. Raven gets focused down. Stalkers, we committed. We're oh god. It's very messy. Gets into the mineral line. It does get a couple of SCV kills and will deny mining. Okay. It denies mining. Messy defense. 6 SCV kills and will try to get away. Oof. Leaving out more Stalkers. Escaping with 4, he lost 6 Stalkers in the process. This is a hefty trade here for herO, and wasn't quite worth it. herO, he falls behind in the supply, bleeds out a bunch of Stalkers. Still looking for more damage. Does get behind the mineral line. Gets 1 more CV. 2 more. Just 1. Just the 1 worker. Now, after these heavy losses from herO, there's a very high chance that Percival turns this into a 2-base all-in again. It's a very high chance. I will say that I believe the 3rd bases are a little bit less... never mind. I was going to say that they're a little bit less accessible. What you can do is you can push in between the bases and take control of the low ground. You can take control of the low ground instead. Nice on Percival. Behind this, we have earlier Storm than last time. This will help. Storm is on the way. Be heavily reliant on those storms. Percival finishing up his upgrades. Does catch the Observer. For now, just going for drops. Speaking of, here is in position. Oh no, the rally! Oh, does notice. And Percival notices, he does pull away. Drop is denied. The issue with the 2-base all-in here is, again, the rush distance by ground is quite long. It's quite a long way across the map here. So we'll see if he throws down a command center. Percival, he moves out. Let's make his way across. Third CC. Okay, there it is. So it doesn't pull the boys, expanding into a third base, building up into the mid game. This time Percival, he's macroing. He's macroing up. So he does push. Bearing in mind that there are 7 High Templar, there's a lot of storms. Oh, speaking of, first storms to land. Sending back the army. There's still plenty more where that came from. Ooh, at the same time, very nice counter-attack here. They drop into the middle line. 6 probe kills. 6 probes, catching out some stalkers as well. Gaining ground in the main. Templar trying to move in. Oof. Yeah, still massive tank shots. Tanks that help cover the main. They punish the zealots. Of brutal storm. Yeah, storm does connect, and Percival, he's running out of reinforcements here. He's running out of support for his tanks, so he will have to leave soon. If not, he will lose all those tanks. I mean, he's punishing. Storm drop on the tanks, massive shots here on the stalkers. He trades well. Percival, he still trades well here. 11 probe kills, takes down the stalkers. Even trying to catch out one of the High Templar. Tanks are still alive. Oh my god, and we're just rallying in. We're just rallying in. The High Templar are exposed. The panic storms. He's going for the kill. Can he do it? He can. He can break through the immortal. There's what, 2 stalkers left. No more storms. They get a messy defense here out of herO, and these tanks were insane. They got so much value. And with that, Percival's done it. He has done it. He breaks on through. Didn't even need the third. You could even argue the third base hurt him. It slowed him down. And GG gets called. Percival, he will overwhelm. He will claim a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. And GG, well played, Percival. He will extend his lead here. Again, winding up back, herO had a very messy defense when it came to dealing with that tank line. Going for the he was very storm heavy, and unfortunately against tanks, the storms, even though they showered the tanks, they were not enough to break through, not enough to break them down. Likewise, a big reason why this looked so difficult for herO is because he lost, what was it, 6 stalkers across the map. Remember, this all kind of snowballed out of control, which is why I thought it was going to be a 2-base all-in to capitalize on herO's losses. It all came down to herO blinking into the natural and into the mineral line, and in the process losing so much of his army. So many stalkers went down in the process, and it wasn't really worth it. He killed a couple of SCVs, but again, he bled out so many units, and that meant that he had that much less to defend back at home. When it comes to PvT, it is imperative that you maintain and more importantly, that you retain your stalkers over time, because they build up and that becomes the core part of your army. Ideally, you don't want to be warping them in. You don't want to be spending more resources to replace them, to replenish. GG. GG, well played with that. Percival, he's up 2-0, and now we're going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Let's go. Another one of these smaller maps, and this map does favor aggression, and we've been seeing non-stop 2-base play. Technically, Percival did get a 3rd CC last game, but it never really kicked in. It was just 2-base all-ins, essentially. 2-base all-ins here by Percival, and we're expecting that here on Ruby Rock. We'll see how herO does adjust. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran leading the series 2-0 and 1 game away from claiming the series and advancing onto the grand finals. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. Letting tanks walk up to the ledge was not smart. I would push back against that kind of framing. It's kind of weird framing. Senor Killer Caterpillar. As we try to emphasize, the big reason why herO had no map control was because of the committed 3-gate blink dive into the natural. So in the mid game, herO, he went 3-gate blink stalker, he went for the warp prism, he went for a big warp in as well. He pushed across the map and he overcommitted into the natural base of Percival. He bled out a lot of stalkers. That's why he had so little to work with, and that's why he did not have map control, which you would typically expect in PvT. So Percival, he capitalized on the overextension from herO previously and just snowballed out of control. So led into a shaky defense out of herO. Shaky. Here we go. Here we go. We are going to be opening up. And once again, welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a smaller map of the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Ruby Rock, and based on what we've seen so far, we should be seeing some safer play here by herO. We might even see just charge first instead of blink, or again, just a bit of a tamer response. We'll see. Hello. So from here we are going to be opening up. And we are going to be settling in. herO does come in with a rescout. herO does confirm that this is an economic opener. Single racks, single gas I should say. Single gas into a rack expand. herO being an annoyance, and he will attempt to delay the CC. Brings out a second worker. So again, nice delay. Reaper slips into the main, and we'll get a probe. Not bad. Gets one, but only one. So one probe per Reaper. As the Reaper attempts to get away, but is cornered. Reaper does fall. Twilight Council gets thrown down. We're expecting blink, but we'll see if herO does decide to take a risk and open up charge instead. We'll get into it if that's what he decides to go for. Go. As gateways are being thrown down. We're still waiting for the initial robo as well. That does shade in. So far, controlled by Percival. So far, he's keeping up. He's defending well. And behind this, going for the 1-1-1, setting up for potentially an add-on swap as well. We've yet to see any Banshee play out of Percival, and that's still something that is very accessible here in PvT. Otherwise, you just open up Raven for harass. And herO cuts some corners this time. Okay, no robo. Opening up 2 gates. So 2 gate blink, and no third gateway, no robo, straight into a third at base. A very greedy build here by herO. Is being greedy. Meanwhile, Percival is going to be going for his own Cloak Banshee. This has a little potential for damage just because herO did decide to delay his robo, right? There is no robo, so no detection. Often it is common, it is standard to go for an earlier robo before the expansion to get detection up and running and have access to immortal production. That is not the case for herO. So these Banshees can pop off. Robo now is on the way. Again, much more delayed. Hellion getting a scout off, dips in, confirms the robo. First one does scout, does confirm. And we'll see if he does hold on to the Banshees, bearing in mind that 2 Banshees kind of one-shot probes. Second Banshee's on the way. In the dive. Yo, este sinistro in the chat. God, baby, yeah. Good to see you, baby. Good to see you. Este sinistro. I appreciate the comment you left as well on Reddit. I appreciate it. Regarding the tournament's results. Appreciate it. Este sinistro. Para galera, baby. Para galera. Banshees are moving out, so we do see herO with the interception, and he does catch him. He does find him. Oof. Jesus, the observers are all over the place. Yeah, Banshees are going to be denied, they're going to be deflected. So far, this has not been worth it, and he even does catch the Banshees as well. Aye. Brutal losses here for Percival. And again, it was a big commitment as well. It's a big investment going into Cloak, going into, spending all that Star Pro production as well. Rough stuff for Percival, does move out with a double drop. As he moves out, herO's moving in. Oh. There's an opening. There's an opening into the main. There's nothing here. There's what, 2 Marauders and 2 Marines. He blinks in. It dives into the main base. And does end up trading. Doesn't blink in with the rest of his army. So it does get a Marauder, a couple of Marines. Percival still commits across the map. Does not turn around. And again, there's no tanks, by the way. There's no tanks on low ground. We can just push. He can just send it. Yeah, Percival does it the third. herO pushes into the natural. Does move in. Widow Mines. Ooh. They do move forward. They're going to be thrown away. Not a single shot. Some boys are being pulled. Desperation here by Percival. And he's getting caught out. We're getting rowdy. We're getting messy. 16 probe kills, 16 SCVs. The natural is broken. herO pushing in towards the main. At the same time, Percival does break the third, but he has to keep going. He's running out of steam. He's running out of steam, running out of army. We have to keep pushing in towards the natural. But Percival does not have enough across the map. Does not have enough. As deep as are falling, we have defensive immortals. herO holds. Here he's holding on, and across the map, I can't say the same for Percival. He will lose control of the natural. CC force a lift. Oh. There's that force field. And we're microing our heart out. It's we're doing what we can. 27 SCVs contained on one base. And again, without any tanks on the high ground, without any kind of defensive setup, there's nothing to stop this. He cannot be stopped. herO snowballing out of control. He can just keep going. Behind this, resaturating his third. Building him to +1. And with high ground vision, he can just blink. He can just blink in. Now playing it safe. Cleaning up all the depots. And now the rest of the reinforcements have arrived. He's got his reinforcements. We can just die if that. You can do it. Oh no, GG. GG gets called, and herO does fight back, does put a point on the board. herO does make a series out of this. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Winding it back again, it was a big commitment by Percival to go into Cloak Banshees. They did not pay for themselves. They were shut down real fast and real hard. Not just that, but because of the initial tech of Percival, he had no tanks. There was 0 tanks to work with. Without any tanks, Blink Stalkers are actually more effective. They're more deadly as a result of that. We had a weaker defensive setup, and of course, once herO realized that, he just committed. It wasn't just that though. To be fair, it also coincided with Percival going for his drop. Right, he moved out with a triple drop across the map, so he had that much less to defend back at home. So Percival, he was vulnerable, and herO did take advantage of that vulnerability. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO, he does fight back. We have a back and forth here. We're going to be loading into game number 4. Just catching up. Just catching on up. How you doing? We're doing well, doing well. It's been an intense couple of weeks due to GSL. Like, GSL has filled up our schedule quite heavily. Well, it was everything. It was TLMC into GSL and RSL as well. So there's a lot of StarCraft going on. A lot of StarCraft. Oh. So it's been intense. I look forward to June when things slow down a little bit. Maybe I say that, but like coming into the end of the month, we have my source of the game, and we have Home Story Cup on the horizon as well. So there's a lot of StarCraft. But here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the right hand corner of Washout, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran leading the series 2-1, and still 1 game away from claiming the series. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself representing T1. It is herO. Yunker always putting in lots of work. Giving the minimum recognition on the effort you two put in is literally the bare minimum. Gracias, papi, gracias. Regardless, I mean, you say that, but we appreciate it. It's not comment. We appreciate it. So we're going to be settling into Washout. Washout is another one of is actually a TLMC 22 finalist. This is one of the maps that has been added into the top 16, and you can soon vote on as well when it comes to whether or not you wish it to be added to said map pool. The map itself is interesting. It does have some unique quirks and some unique features, of course. The biggest ones are these hybrid locations, these hybrid bases. We have 1, 2, 3 bases on each side of the map, so 6 in total hybrid expansions with towers that can be knocked down to destroy patches. It is a unique idea. It's definitely a unique idea, something we haven't really seen before. The idea of being able to harass in multiple ways and to destroy mineral patches is cool. But I'll be honest, I don't think I've experienced a single mid to late game on Washout, so I haven't actually seen these bases actually come into play, and be influential. Like it just hasn't happened. It doesn't help that right now we're in the meta of shorter games, more aggression, more all in. So unfortunately, it's something that we have yet to fully experience when it comes to our games watched and games casted. But it felt good. It was I think it was yesterday or the day before we raided Sal, and Sal he gave us a nice shout out as well. It's a bit of a different perspective from him, but because he doesn't watch as much StarCraft, but he created like an app that goes through a Ligulac and actually assigns VODs with matches, so you can easily watch VODs and find games from matches played on a Ligulac. And he was like, guys, you're crazy, because it was going through it, and almost every series played had us as the VOD, because we cast everything. He was like, oh my god. He's like, I thought maybe Wardy or Steadfast would cast some of StarCraft, but no, it's you guys. Like, yeah, that's been the case for 5 years. They gave us a nice shout out. Sal. I say 5 years, since 2022. We're casting the most StarCraft. And we'll still keep it going. True. So now we are going to be opening up. Once again, we're going to be going for our Blink-based opener. Twilight Council into Blink. This time we'll see if we do go for additional Blink Stalkers, additional Gateways, I should say. As Hallucination does get eyes on the initial setup. Does get eyes on the 1-1-1. There's Yaddle swap. We spoke about last game how the initial Cloak Banshees, they didn't do any damage, and it was a really rough start. At this time, much more tame opener, going for Ravens. Going for harassment. Oh, once again, herO being quite greedy here. Once again, 2-gate Blink into a third. Very greedy build here by herO. Focusing on its economy. Percival does confirm. This does lead into a stronger mid-game as well. Bear that in mind. So hyper greed out of herO. And we'll see if Percival can punish. We'll see if he attempts to. Este sinistro. Much love. Much love. Less than 3. Do what we can. Unfortunately, it means we don't have time for other things. We've been trying to stream other games, but because of the intense schedule, I think we don't really have time for other stuff until end of the month. We'll get there. We'll make it through May. And there's still more to cast. Unironically, there are events. There are people that approach us to cast events, and we have to turn them down because our schedule's too full. We can't fit you in. No. Specifically OSC. There's a bunch of OSC tournaments. There's even OSC King of the Hill, for example, that often doesn't get a caster. It's a really fun tournament. It's a really good event, but often doesn't get casted. Feels King of the Hill, man. We just have no room. But now, For now, we do have our tech-heavy follow-up. So again, we spoke about the greed of herO, going 2-gate blink into a third base, and from here rushing into the bay into Colossus. So this is just hyper greed. We're just staying on a very low gateway count. We're finally throwing down additional gateways. There's still no forge either, for example. Just very greedy, very tech-heavy stuff here out of herO, and we'll see if he gets away with it. There is a window in time where herO is vulnerable, where Percival can pull the trigger and send it across the map. But the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for herO as he builds up those Colossus. So that is a concern. As here we go, we're setting up. Stim is almost done, and first we can start to push. It's going to be up to herO to slow this down as best he can. Does catch a Marine. Gets one, gets two. 2 Marines get picked off. We just still commits behind this rallying liberators, and do we pull the boys? We do. There we go, the boys are being pulled. 2 base all in. As you mentioned, herO has been hyper greedy this game, and it's on Percival to punish. Let's go. He sends the boys. We do have our first Colossus. Can we get on top of the ramp? Ooh, if we can set up here. Not quite. Yeah, Percival, he does pull back. The boys are a little bit late. Tanks do siege. Tanks are exposed. He gets one. One tank goes down. He gets a second tank as well. There's 1 tank left. Ooh, and brutal force fields as well. Looking down the SCVs. A rough start for Percival. Remember, the tanks are the backbone of the army. To lose 2 tanks already is brutal. Yeah, again, this ramp was too narrow. It was too narrow. You got punished for it. Trying to push up the ramp. Tanks getting in position. Nice tank shots. Nice tank volleys. As time goes on, second Colossus just now popped out. Extended lance is done. Liberation has arrived. We have freedom. We have freedom. Here, getting within range of the Nexus. Now we can commit in. Now here comes the second Colossus. And the boys are being cleaned up. Yeah, breaks through the SCVs, now trying to get on top of the tanks as well. Oh, doesn't quite get on top though. Percival, he stims in. He gets one. Oh my god, he gets one Colossus. Can he get the other? Keep going. Not quite. Not quite. He's so close though. Stims in once again. The boys are being pulled. The bio army is so low. And the Colossus survives. Colossus does barely survive. I can't say the same for the third. The third is broken. Percival, can he keep going? Again, he's so close. Can he kill the Colossus? One more shot. He gets it. Massive pickup. Colossus goes down. And what does herO have left? He still has a Colossus. Oh, there's still one left. There's still one left. herO trying to catch reinforcements. Guns coming from behind. Oh, rotating back over. Does rotate. Tank blows on the Stalkers. Percival moving further in. Once again, trying to get within range of the production. Tank is exposed. We got to move in back. Oh, as reinforcements are getting caught. Tanks to do siege. Now there's a second Colossus. Nice tank shots on the Stalkers. 1 tank does go down. It does catch 1. And there's not enough fire here. We need more Marauders. We need more reinforcements. He needs more. Catch out to these Stalkers. Picking off whatever they can. Tanks to do punish. Nice focus firing there on the Colossus. Gets 1. There's 1 left. 1 Colossus left, but no more bio. No more bio, no more Marines, no more Marauders. They get zoned away. Tanks are going down, and hero's holding. Yeah, herO, he barely holds on, cleans up every single tank. Whew. That was close. That was so close. If there were a couple of, like, imagine this game where if Percival didn't lose the first 2 tanks at the start of the all-in. If those 2 tanks did not go down early on, then this push would have been harder and faster. Then we would have pushed up into the ramp harder and faster as well. It was just so brutal for Percival to lose 2 tanks at the beginning of the all-in. It was brutal. And now Percival's being forced all the way back. Behind this 3rd CC. Oh, okay. Getting a 3rd CC. Percival gonna try to macro out of this. I mean, he does have the worker lead, true. And I mean, herO is on 2 bases. We can try to macro out of this. Do we both just back off, calm down, and expand? I mean, we there it is. 3rd base for herO. herO's claiming his 3rd. So is Percival. We're in a really weird game state. Okay, so where exactly are we? We still have 2 Colossus, right? The Colossus gun is still quite healthy. And we can nibble away at the CC. CC is exposed. Yep. Command Center taking a lot of hits. And can we force a cancel? Viking still amassing. Liberator does push forward. Okay. Does join the army back. Oh no! Oh, catching a 1, 2, 3 sentries. Nice catch at the Percival. Very nice. Catching at the sentries. From here, moving out at the same time. herO does drop into the main. Percival doesn't have the supply to defend at both locations at once. He's rotating over, out of position. Ooh, tank is caught. Very nice force field. Catching at the tank, creating a choke point. Oof. And massive swipes on the bio. CC does complete at least. Does complete, but here's just trading. He's just picking up whatever he can, poking, prodding at the army, while he pulls away and fully saturates. And are we just gonna? Are we really gonna end up in a macro game? Yo, after the failed all in, we're macroing up, Pappy. Let's go. Strap yourselves in for a 30-minute game, assuming that Percival can expand. Like, bearing in mind that herO, he still has map control. He's got a disruptor as well. He's containing Percival, and so far Percival cannot break out. He's still contained. Schwarzenegger's. He's got 2. Yeah, but then as they go off, they catch out one of the tanks. Oh, actually going for the bio. Connect with the Marauders. Marauders go down. Tanks now exposed. And he does get 1. Oh, no. Oh, my God. The tank shots. Oh, jeez. The herO here extends. Percival, he punishes. It does punish very hard. Despite that, 13 SCV kills. At the same time, Drop gets across the map. 6 probe kills. Not bad. Now dropping into the main. We're getting messy. We're getting messy, getting chaotic. This did force a recall. Now Percival can expand. He breaks out from the contain. Tyrannix Matrix, Sag. That is not true. And if you noticed, and if you saw, but like that all-in had a lot of potential, and there were definitely mistakes that Percival made. Without a Raven, like it's still very common to go for all-ins without Ravens, without disables. Hit with Vikings, hit with Liberators. Again, I will still emphasize Percival losing 2 tanks at the start of the all-in, like a bit prematurely. Building up. Zell drop into the natural. Does zip in, does try to harass. Vikings will shut this down. But the Zell's so distracting. Here we're gonna calm down. Here does break in. Takes down the tower. Prism is caught. And we are building up into a longer game state. We're going to Mass Disruptor from here. Double Forge, double upgrades. 4th Nexus now on the way. Going for the hybrid expansions. And the map is large enough where I do favor the Protoss when it comes to a longer macro game here. There's just a lot of bases, a lot of expansions to claim. A lot of high yield bases more importantly, which is crucial here for Protoss, for herO. And Percival, he needs to be active like this. Needs to be aggressive in some way. For now, though, he's stuck at home. Dude, we have to 7 disruptors. He's got so many Novas. Percival, he attempts to flank. hero's on him. Diving on the Marines. And just looking for a way in. More importantly, just containing, right? We're just keeping Percival busy, containing him, ensuring that there's no drop play, there's no move outs. I say that Percival does slip by. Does slip out on the left-hand side. There's a spotter probe.
Consciousness awakened.
Here he attempts to expand, and Percival should force a cancel. Might even get a kill. Sims in. Sim in, does force a cancel, catching out 3 free probes, straight 3 free pylons. Is getting damage. At the same time, herO was double expanding, going for another expansion here. Oh my god. It's a bit of a ninja, as he does just skip bases. Okay. Does skip an expansion, just keeps going. Getting more high yield bases. Oh my god. As he doesn't catch the Medivacs. Both armies are maxing out. Building up and maxing out. When it comes to Percival's army, he's still perfecting it. We're still building up tanks, Vikings, Liberators, and Ghosts. The first wave of Ghosts are on the way, but they're not ready yet. He needs those EMPs. We are so disruptor heavy though. And as they pop off, they deny mining, 5 SCV kills. Are catching up 5 SCVs. Thankfully, I guess the sensor tower will let Percival know about the workers mining. I guess. At least in the gas geyser. Oof. Disruptor does go down. Colossus as well. So a bit of a costly trade here from herO. And Percival just sends it right down mid. He just sends it. No recall. There's no energy. Nice EMP, just to make sure. But there are reinforcements. Yeah, the reinforcements back at home. They're buying time. Does still get into the mineral line. 10 probe kills. 10 probes do go down. Not bad. Gets up to 12. Ooh, but cannot get out. Yeah, cannot escape. Cannot get out. Ay. Saving 1 ghost. At the same time, double prism drop into the main. Does distract. Once again, just causing a distraction. Here, he more or less defends. Oh, but here's probe count is actually very low. 54? What? Like, very low probe count. I'm sure he just lost a wave of workers here at the 3rd base. But despite the bases, no economy, no saturation. Ooh. Catching the medevac, catching up the ghosts. Yeah, this is a brutal trade here for Percival. Wasn't quite worth it. Wasn't worth it, Pappy. Here's really here links in. Jeez, so many liberators. The freedom does move in. Nova's very nice splits. Nova's don't connect. The splits, Pappy. He spreads well. Words and Novas. Still keeping up with the army rotation. Shots going off. Libera's a little bit late to siege. He does dive in. Ooh, and these Stalkers are going to be going down. Massive shots. Catching at the Colossus as well. But cannot chase. Okay, we built up to how many? Up to 8 disruptors. It's too many Novas. Too many. And earlier, when I was criticizing, what I was critical of here was the worker counts. Now we're up to 77. The probe count is getting up there. Building up, we're saturating. Here, gaining map control and soon accumulating a bank as well. The bank is the biggest concern. Percival does claim a 4th. But again, these losses have been rough. These trades have been rough. And from here, spreading himself thin. Spreading thin. Workers that get caught out as well. Catching out more SCVs. Percival does eventually find the ninja base, but I can't do anything about it. Cannot stop the expansion. And the goal for herO from here should just be deny the base. Deny the expansion over and over again. Percival's done a great job at securing his 4th, but the 5th base, again, he's spreading himself very thin. The 4th base now exposed. Tank's going to be going down. Shoals and overs. Goes to the mineral line. Ooh. No major connections. Does get 7 SCVs though. 7 SCVs. herO pulls away. Once again, going for another run by. Planetary's not done. Still denying mining 10 SCVs in total. Nice cannon drop. Very nice. Takes out his own mineral line. Yeah, not easy getting across the map here, so 17 probes go down. The Nexus might even fall as well. Oh, not quite. Drops further in. Just keeps on dropping. Moves like this are quite necessary here for Percival to get across the map, to punish some of these mineral lines. Here, his bases are so spread thin. I mean, both players in general. On washouts. But the main army is looking terrifying. We just mapped over the planetary. Get all the most efficient Novas, but does not get the planetary. Oh my god. Novas are on cooldown. Now we can just give chase. Stim. We can stim in. It takes down Colossus, takes down Disruptors, but that's just not enough of a bio army. Yeah, the supply just is not there. Percival, he's broke. He has bases, but again, he has limited mining. Oof. He can't afford to rebuild. And Percival's just running out of steam. A herO, he's about to remax. Percival does bring down another expansion, but he needs to trade with the army, and he wasn't quite able to. One of those cases where the soup is not lying back. Oh no. It's rare, but it's happening. So he rotates over. Does run into 5 tanks. This is maybe the most difficult position to push into. With all 5 tanks pre-sieged. That's 5 that Percival could have hoped for. herO rotating over. 4 tanks to rotate. Nice CMP. Ooh, tanks are exposed. He gets 1. He gets 1. Takes down Liberators as well. And now we just commit in. And here we go. Finally a better fight for herO. Resets the tank count. Bit of awkward army movement there from herO. Does take the fight, does reinforce, and now we can just keep going. And now, no tanks, no Liberators. Now there's no anchor point here for Percival. We just keep going. Oof. And Novas, they do still connect. Planetary does not go down. Messy fight at herO, very messy. As he had a bunch of his army dedicated towards the Nexus, towards the planetary, but didn't quite bring it down. Novas didn't connect. Getting messy. So he's hanging in there. He's hanging on. herO dives in, punishes the ghosts. 1 ghost goes down. There's the recall. Massive rotation. This southern base has 3 tanks, but again, they are exposed. And herO collapses in. Snaps in, gets 1. There's 3 tanks left. bit further back. Zelsa closing that gap. Nova's going to be going up as well. Ooh, catching out another tank. Now there's two planetary falls, finally. Took so long. Planetary goes down. herO who lose the base himself, but herO can afford it. He can afford to lose it. Just going to keep pushing. Once again, catching out the low ground tanks. And GG gets called with that. herO, he will survive the all-in. He does force a longer game, and he does recover. He recovers, he bounces back. herO does force the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, there's a world with Percival 3 O's. Oh, sorry, I guess 3 1s. Where Percival, again, that 2-base all-in was insane. Like, he was actually trading very, very nicely. Catching out the Stalkers, catching out the Colossus, breaking the 3rd expansion. But again, we saw that the beginning of the all-in was lackluster, where Percival, he unfortunately did bleed out a lot of tanks early on. And bearing in mind the tanks that were the main DPS factor when it came to his all-in. So to lose 2 tanks early on, that was insane. If that wasn't the case, again, he kills the 3rd base that much faster. He breaks through the 3rd base, breaks through the main army, and most likely even just kills herO. But GG. GG all played. With that herO, he barely survived. He held on. Great use of his Stalkers to come in from behind and to catch reinforcements, to buy enough time for Colossus to build up at the natural, of course, and to make a game out of it. GG. GG well played. Very tenacious play there by herO, as that leads us into the ace match. Leads us into game 5. We're going to be loading into Blackrock. Oh boy. I'll be honest, I haven't really seen too many games on Blackrock, despite us having it in a decent amount of tournament map pools. Haven't seen too much mid-game. Curious. Bearing in mind this is an older version of Blackrock, this map has been updated, and we should be able to feature it later on tonight in the Tunic Cup. Let's go. Let's go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of Blackrock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran. Oh, the Red Terran player himself. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go and welcome one and all to Blackrock. Blackrock is a tribute to Warcraft. To Warcraft 3, or I guess Warcraft in general. It does have a very heavy Warcraft aesthetic, as we do have our watchtowers, and there are even some Orc grunts. As you can see there are some Orc grunts on patrol, also scouting the map here on Blackrock. Let's go. Let us go. So big Warcraft aesthetic. This map did make it into the top 16, and also a big shout out to a big shout out to Brendoner in the chat. Gracias, baby, gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation. To the tip, 420, lovely. Thank you for the tip. We do appreciate it. It goes for the bunny vet funds. Thank you. Again, vet bills have been very expensive. So we appreciate it. Gracias. So from here we're going to be opening up. Now when it comes to the features of the map itself outside of the aesthetic, it is interesting. It does have a very open 3rd and 4th base. So very quickly here, we have our secured natural. We do have the high ground that does actually help secure said natural base as well, with tank positioning with the high ground advantage. Coming in towards the area in between the bases here, there have been changes made, so I did try to emphasize that previously. I would say that this position is a little bit abusable when it comes to aggression, but we have actually removed some of this tall grass to make this more of a defensive position instead, as it can actually be used to defend against the entrance into the 3rd. So this is a linear 3rd base. We can knock down these rocks, we can wall this area off. It's a relatively open 3rd later in the game once these rocks are knocked down and completely cleaned up. We then have the northern expansion here. This base looks a little bit more difficult to maintain due to the entrance on the top side and due to the tall grass as well. There's a lot of tall grasses, a lot of side blockers here in the center of the map, but changes made to this area here. I believe this choke point was narrowed up, so I believe that now these rocks already come pre-knocked down, so now we have a more narrow choke point here to have a little bit more of a narrow entrance in towards the bases for harassment. And I believe this tall grass was pushed back a little bit further. Push back further instead, to actually allow for a bit of a more secure area here. So this can't be used against the defending player too much. Meanwhile, a big shout to Babylings. God, thank you so much. Sorry, I was just going over the map. But thank you so much for subscribing for 47 months. Crazy. 47 months of not seeing live VIP wear pants. Oh no. Here's the 47 more. Here's the but thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Este baby links. Aye, aye, aye. As our first Reaper does dip into the main. It does dip in, it does attempt to get a scout off, and won't quite get a probe. Yeah, not quite. As Reaper is going to be locked down, and we are going to be opening up Blink. So Blink is going to be on the way. Behind this we have our 1-1-1 follow-up. Again, initially economic start at a Percival. So far so good. As again, from here we're coming down, opening up with a Mind Drop. We have a Mind Drop follow-up as well. But again, when it comes to the map itself, we have had some changes. So the tall grass was pushed back a little bit further just to allow for the defending player to have a little bit more room to work. And I believe this entrance here was actually created a little bit wider. It's a very narrow entrance coming in between the bases, but this was made, I want to say, like 1 or 2 hexes wider instead, just to not be as punishing, just to allow for more rotations as well. A bunch of changes are made. I'm sure we'll see them tonight. We'll see them. Feeling it when the Reaper just walks past my Reaper walk. True, we did see that here. Oh no. Look, it's like potentially the first time playing on the map, so it takes a while to get used to like walling up and walling off, and sometimes there can be some bugs as well. We're getting there. Hydro comes in. Hero's keeping up. Oh! As Hero does pull away in time, no mine connections, observers in position, and not a single probe goes down. Very nice defense. And a clean defense out of Hero. Cleans up the mines. And from here, he can now start to gain map control. Behind this 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink with the robo as well into a delayed expansion. Here he can now move out, he can push, and he can apply pressure. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have 2 bunkers. 2 bunkers on low ground. We have 1 tank in the main. I will say the main base isn't too accessible. Thankfully, here we do have some terrain to disrupt, but we'll see what angle Hero does come in from. We'll see if we can dive into said main or natural base. Still only 1 tank to defend. We are vulnerable. Percival, he is vulnerable here. Here comes Warp in. Hero's pushing. Does he dive past the bunker again? Like I see, that was a question move last time. He's going for the main. He dives into the main base. Can he get on top of the tank? Going for Stim actually, and Stim will be knocked down. Yeah, nice denial. Stim is denied. Does make away. Yo, we did have a second tech lab, thankfully. Stim does restart. So he does keep warping in. At this point, now we have a second tank, so Percival, he's secure. 2 tanks in the main, and here he can just contain. Oh, I say that. Does dive in the bunker. Gets 1. Does snipe one of the bunkers. Does weaken that defensive position. Bearing in mind that Hero did expand behind this, so he's building up into a macro game, getting his own 3rd base, charge on the way, mortal production as well. Hero's not all in. But he still wants that bunker. And he does get it. Yeah, one more volley. Bunker goes down. Again, there's no tangle to low ground, so Hero, he's just overwhelming. Yeah, he's just overwhelming. And without Stim, what could this bio army do? There's no Stim. There's no Stim. I mean, the tanks, they move down to low ground. Tanks are exposed. Stalkers, they blink away. But these have been some brutal trades. As Hero, he rotates. Once again, there's an opening in the main. Here he can bypass the tank. Can he get Stim again? No, he's going for it. He's going to get combat shields. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He does snipe combat shields. Stim does survive, thankfully. That would have been brutal. I mean, this still is brutal. Stim survives, Bappy. Let's go. But here he can just back off and build up, building up towards Colossus. Throwing down the bay, the forge, the upgrades, attacking up. Bunkers like he suck. I mean, so the way that you would have to defend against that is you have to pre-pull the boys to repair. If you're unable to repair the bunkers, then they're unable to buy time. Bunkers are not really built to defend, they're built to buy time for the rest of the army to rotate and the rest of the army to defend, which would have been the case if Stim was available, right? Like, there's just so much coming to play here. Lack of Stim, pressure of the Stalkers, bow tanks in the main. Like, it was just It's just been a very shaky mid-game here for Percival. Very shaky. And here, ready to just collapse in. He's ready for the army. And Percival is pushing. Tanks are unsieged. He's getting caught out. One tank does go down. There's one tank left. Oh my god. Does pull away. Saves the one. But the boy... where are we going? The boys! I mean, Percival was forced into a 2-base all in. The boys are being pulled, but there's only one tank behind this. We just engage. Zealous trade well. They tank. And can we even get on top of the tank? Not quite. Yeah, Percival is holding on here, but again, this was an engagement on Percival's side of the map. Here he has so much time to warp in, reinforce. We have more Colossus amassing as well. Here is perfectly fine. And already the all-in has failed. 2-base all-in did fail. And here is not done. Once again, looking for a way into the main. We have a handful of Marines. It's time for the medevac. Medevac goes down. Liberator is vulnerable. Here it does pull away. And Percival, he needs to be active. He needs to be active. He needs to be aggressive. Back at home, oh my god. Like, how do we deal with this, Pappy? Here we're getting further ahead. About to have a third Colossus. And here's just going to shut this down. I mean, the drops are at least buying time. We're distracting herO, buying time, forcing a recall. He's doing what he can. Oh. Sure goes off. Shot goes off, catching the Colossus. Third base now being taken. Percival, he's attempting to expand, attempting to macro out of this. And the best that Percival can hope for here is to drop and to distract, to keep herO busy while he slowly recovers and builds up his Vikings, his ghosts. That's the hope. Speaking of, not bad. Catching up 4 probes. Catching up 4 workers. Again, distracting herO. So he needs more time. Oh, the retargeting gets a sentry. Yeah, nice retargeting, but this is the big concern here, is that Percival, he needed to do everything he could to keep herO busy. Because he didn't, herO he moves out, and herO has a death bull of an army. He's got 3 Colossus, mass Zella Warpins. Here he just commits in, pushing into the siege line. It's not a pretty trade here for herO, but he breaks through. He just breaks through, he just overwhelms, the numbers in his favor. 1 Colossus goes down, he gets 1, he gets 2, but GG gets called. There's just not enough on the ground, and herO, he will claim the series 3-2, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, herO. He will claim the series. A very intense back and forth here, and I'm still thinking about game 4. I'm still thinking about the game on washouts, where again, Percival, he committed to the 2-base all-in, and he almost straight up killed herO. There would have been a world where he would have advanced on instead. He was close. He was close, and despite not bringing him down, I will still say a big shout out to Percival. Percival, he went up against the best Protoss in the world, right? herO, he's straight up the best Protoss player in the world. So for Percival to force the ace match and to almost win the series as well, GG. GG, well played. A very solid performance there by Percival. Bearing in mind he's still a younger player, he's still an up-and-comer, but he has been getting better and better results over time. Recently, I mean, this tournament, he beat Cure, right? He beat Cure, he went to the ace match against herO, he beats Beyond on a regular basis as well, he beats Solar in the GSL qualifiers. Like, Percival, more and more frequently, he's getting these better and stronger results, beating some of the more veterans in the scene, like Beyond, Cure, Solar, etc. So impressive play there, but GG well played with that. herO, he does knock him down, and we're getting ready for the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between herO and Clem. Oh boy. Here we go. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. And we'll see you soon coming into our next game. I see in the chat no armory. Bearing in mind that Percival, he had no intention of the game for lasting much longer. It was meant to be an all-in. That's why he pulled the boys. He was going for an all-in after a very rocky start. So if you did notice any kind of almost said inconsistencies, any inefficiencies when it came to building up into a longer game. I mean, the game was never meant to last that long. Like, it was like, the plan was not to build up into a macro game. It was just a very messy mid game. But regardless, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have Clem versus herO in a best of 5. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the grand finals here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 76. It's been an intense event so far, and we got to experience Percival's rise through the ranks and face off against herO in the semis and have an intense back and forth. But now we have our top two players here, the more expected of the top two players in the world. Actually, I should say that. herO being the best Protoss, Clem being the best Terran. They're going to be facing off in a TVP, as is often the case in these Open Cups. Both are regulars in the Open Cup circuits, and we're featuring them once again in a best of 5. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be jumping into game 1 and jumping into Tourmaline. Once again, we've been seeing quite a bit of Tourmaline as of late. Smaller map, shorter map, smaller map in the map pool, shorter resistance by ground, aggression is favored, and we'll see how our players will approach this. We're expecting a little more chaos, a little more aggression. Show us what you got. Let's go. Let us go. As we are jumping into our best of 5 and spawning in the left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the blue Terran player. We have the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into our best of 5. Bearing in mind this is going to be a best of 5 finals, a longer series, more games, more matches, and maybe this is one of the reasons why a map like Tourmaline does make it through the veto process as well, as vetoes are much more limited in a longer series. True. Now when it comes to our TVP here, again, herO, he's a very diverse player. We did see previously against Percival, we did see a little more heavy blink aggression. That is true. Did mix it up a little bit when it came to the follow-ups. Either 3-gate blink, 2-gate blink, a greedy play at times. I don't see herO cutting too many corners against Clem though. Clem, he's a little more aggressive, a little more assertive, a little more willing to punish you if you do cut corners, so bear that in mind. That's often why we do see a little more chaotic games like cheese, aggression, proxies, proxy stargate, proxy gateways, early adept aggression. Things get very chaotic early on between these two. Very chaotic. For now, it is going to be a single gas opener. Single gas, racks expand, economic start out of Clem as we do open up on Tourmaline. Once again, Tourmaline is a more aggressive map, has a much more open and accessible natural, open and accessible third base, a fourth base as well, area in between the bases, short rush distance by ground, very direct. There's no like points of elevation or choke points to take advantage of. The one thing you have to slow down and push is the tall grass in the center. In general, earlier games are more common. Shorter games are more common on Tourmaline. Not saying you can never macro and you can never end up in a longer like macro game and mid to late game as well. It does happen from time to time. It's just a bit of a rarer sight. I think an example of that is we covered Percival versus Cure earlier today on this map, and it was a bit of a it was a 20-minute game, but it was just Cure turtling up and just stuck at home. Like it was, it was just Cure. He fell behind early on. He had a really rough early game, and he was just stuck on 3 bases, stuck on 4 bases, and the game lasted longer, but there wasn't really much going on. Events like that do happen. For now, though, we have our take of choice, Twilight Council opener out of herO, opening up Twilight Council into Blink. The question becomes, how many gateways, how greedy or how aggressive is herO going to be? 2-gate, 3-gate, or 4-gate Blink Stalker. Likewise, the timing of the Robo is also what we're looking for as well. Skipping the Robo is considered to be greedy, getting the Robo is considered to be safe. So we have options for herO. See how he opens up. Likewise, back at home, we have the standard follow-up here, just racks into factory. Based on our building placement, there's no add-on swap, so no swap. Oh, it does open a reactor to Reaper Hellion, though. Or just Hellion. Okay, just Hellion. No additional Reapers, so Hellion's going to be moving out. We have the Starport behind this as well. Hellion just for scouting information. Just have some kind of presence on the map. And we'll see if we can get it. For now, there's the safety Robo, so Robo gets thrown down. Second gateway on the low ground as well. So far, 2-gate blink. Did I say 2? 3. 3-gate blink Stalkers. Very safe play here by herO. So far, so good. As he's rolling off the Reaper cliff, securing himself. We can see Clem is looking for the third. herO zones away. Reaper moves in, and Clem once again checking for the third expansion. And now he knows it's not 2-gate blink. He can cross that off. herO is not being overly greedy. Goes in once again. And herO now finally does expand. So again, there's no 4 Gapling Stalker aggression, just very safe play out of herO, delaying his third by a little bit. Clem trying to confirm. Behind this, Clem playing safe, throwing down his bunker on the low ground. We have our low ground bunker, we have tank production in the main base as well. So far, nice Sim City, walling off his main. Clem does keep fanning out. Still being active, once again trying to go for the scouts. Stalker's in position to deny said scout as well. Oh, never mind. Stalker moves back. But should catch the Hellion. Yeah, one more shot. Hellion goes down, but does confirm the third Nexus. Hey, Clem knows. Clem is fully aware. So, for example, there's no reason to get a second bunker. If this was more aggressive, then a second bunker would be required here, but you just stick with one. Tanks are set up. And once Stim finishes, then Clem can start to move out. He can start to either push or claim a third expansion. This is kind of like the bread and butter of TVP. Meanwhile, here is taking charge into the Forge, into +1, into a later Bay, into later Colossus. He's building up into the mid game. Observer gets caught out. Nice catch at a Clem. And Clem is getting a Bay. The Bay tells us that we're looking towards upgrades and we're not really planning to all in. The plan should be to expand and claim a third. As +1 just now begins. So we're having a pretty tame start. Pretty tame start. There it is, third CC on the high grounds. Clem is just slowly expanding. If you recall, like I spoke about aggression and the rush distance by ground, and I did expect to see Clem commit on 2 bases, but the answer is no. The answer is no. We're just setting up into a third base. Clem is posturing. On here to slow this down. herO rushing into his own 4th. Well timed. Claiming his 4th base, Clem does set up a trap. Hoping to catch out the army. And Clem spots the 4th. Oh, he's rotating. He wants to. Oh! Tank is exposed. Does catch a Stalker. Nice pick up at a Clem. Does catch a Stalker. He does pick up. He does boost across. Again, he wants to punish that 4th. Tank's getting within range. Barely not. Yeah, not within range of the Nexus. But the army is. Base is going down and does force a cancellation. Nice pick up at a Clem. Very nice. So late 4th base at a herO. herO moves out. So does Clem. He's pulling back. And herO, he shouldn't be able to collapse on this. Bearing in mind the Colossus are left at home. So I'll leave him at the home. So also just rush across the map. They're pushing towards the natural. Catching at least the bunker, but no economic damage, just distracting the army. Yeah, recalling back home as well. Overall, this is a better fight for Clem. Clem, who was already basing back home to begin with because he already denied the 4th base. So I still favor Clem here. Clem is still favored. herO pushing through the center. Hoping to catch some stray units or a rotation. Clem is already set up. And herO has some recovering to do. Okay. herO going into double structure reduction and also going for the Dark Shrine. Let's go. And hey, that's a way to recover. Go for DTs. You might be looking at this and be thinking, oh, but there's a Raven with the main army and there's scans available. I mean, typically DTs in the mid to late game can be very annoying to deal with if you just mix them in. Just sprinkle them in with Zealots to harass, to go for run-bys, counterattacks. They can very easily, very quickly find damage. Can be annoying. Meanwhile, Clem is fully secured his third base. Now claiming his own fourth. Again, economically, Clem is in a better position. Meanwhile, here he does commit it. Does find a tank. He gets one, he gets two. Yeah, 2 tanks get caught. Nice catch. Nova goes off. Ooh, massive connection. Yeah, split's not in time. Splits are not there. Here he trades well. Here he lost 1 disruptor, but he was in some gateway units. He was able to pick off 2 tanks to the Vikings. Widowmine as well. So again, better trade for the Protoss. It's what Hero needed. Moving in once again, going for Shadow Stride. And this time he's on point. Once again, tank is exposed. Tank goes down, Nova's going to be going off, and oh, they do graze the army. No major connection this time. But does snipe the tank, pulls away, once again bleeding out mainly Zealots. Once again, better trades. Here he tries to distract. Pushing forward. No Nova this time. Yeah, no Nova. Here he overextends. He's going to get out of here. He has to pull away. Nova's not good enough, and he will lose 1, 2, 3 disruptors, and a Colossus as well. Oh, really not. Never mind. Colossus does pull away, but still heavy losses for Hero. Those are 3 disruptors. Ay, ay, ay. If Hero loses too much more, then he will trigger a counterattack. So here he has to be very careful here behind this, claiming a 5th base, double expanding, claiming bottom right and center right as well. Bottom center. Just mass expanding. Same time Prism does slip in. Okay, not bad. Distracting Clem. Now what's important here is that right now it's not on Hero to break the base necessarily. Ideally he would fight for the 4th, but ideally he would also want to distract. Just distract the army, trade somewhat. Nova's going up. No major connections. Better Nova towards the end. Much better actually. Nova does connect. Vikings, they punish. Not many Stalkers here. Yeah, not enough anti-air. Not enough anti-air, but the Warpins, they continue in the main, and SCVs are going down. 18 SCV kills, crazy damage. What I was going to say is that Hero just wants to distract while he takes every other base on the map, but no, he's doing more than that. He's doing critical economic damage. 21 SCV kills, that's insane. And here he gets away. He gets away with the Colossus, building on more disruptors, plus 3s in production. Clem is hurting. And the run bys, they continue. Oh, no. At this point, it shouldn't do too much more. Yeah, catching at a bunker. Gets into the middle line. Nice target firing here on those SCVs. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 more SCV kills. Minami moves in. Catching out 1 more worker. And again, this is all just building up. This is all just adding up here. As Clem is stuck at home stabilizing. And here he can start to saturate. Now, claiming these bases, that's great and all, but he should ideally transfer. Like, transfer workers, rather than over and prioritize these bases and basically take resources away from Clem. Because eventually, Clem will take over this location. Eventually. Here he does rotate over. Rotates to the right, so does Clem. Oh, somewhat. Oh. Clem scans, he's distracted by the disruptors. Disruptors do distract. Colossus move in. Oh, massive swipe. Oh no, the Marines, they get caught out. Massive swipes. Heavy losses there for Clem. Nice armor shred. Anti-armor missile does go off, catching a 1, 2, 3 Colossus. Very nice. Colossus kind of reset, but at this point, I mean, we're done with Colossus. Done with Colossi. There's just too many Vikings. You have DTs warping in. Did mention that earlier. Ideally, you want to sprinkle them in. Turret is not yet done. Clem is distracted. DTs, they do pull away. They pull away. Here's being careful. He's being careful with this. Nova's once again connecting. The Nova's back here. DTs, they catch a tank. The tank goes down, blinks into the mineral line as well, blinks into the main. Catching up more SCVs, causing a big distraction. Here he wants those tanks. He gets one. Ooh, he gets two. Wow, both tanks go down. 0 tanks left. Now we can just keep pushing. Nervous One Singing Racing the Army. GG gets called. Clem torn apart. And herO will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. herO will take a lead in the series. Again, herO, he was just hyper aggressive in the face of Clem, mass expanding behind it. Winding it back, I will say that Clem had a really strong moment early on when he denied the 4th base. He denied the 4th expansion, but the moment where everything swung in favor of herO was the Zealot run by and the Zealot warping across the map. I'm referring to the moment where Clem lost 18 SCVs. There was Zealots in the natural, Zealots in the main base. It was one fell swoop where herO was distracting with his main force, snuck in from behind, and dealt critical damage. From that moment, Clem had to recover. He was stuck at home, he was stuck recovering. If it wasn't for that, Clem could be fighting for map control, but he wasn't able to. He was just stuck defending back at home and struggling to defend. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO does gain momentum, doesn't let go of it, and herO takes a lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading into game numero 2. Boy. Going to be loading into game 2. And from here, we're going to be loading into Winter Madness. Okay, we go from one extreme to the other. One of the smaller aggressive maps into now one of the larger maps instead. Because of this, Clem, or whoever is the defending player, will have an easier time just building up and setting up on a higher base count, as it takes longer for your opponent to get across the map and try to punish you. But there's a bit of a back and forth here. We'll get into it. Let's go. Let us go as spawning in the... there we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Terran player. We have the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. So, let us go. Welcome to Winter Madness. Again, a larger map of the map pool, more defensive locations here when it comes to your initial 2, 3, and 4 bases. So you often do see a little more mid to late game on this map as a result. Likewise, we also have some extremes as well, where because the map is more macro oriented, we do see some all-ins try to catch players off guard, or there's a lot of proxy locations because the map is so much larger as well. We'll get into it. But again, we saw that Clem, he was just being suffocated last game. herO was just constantly in his face, time and time again, rotating back and forth, hitting the 4th base, the 3rd base, pushing into the main base, Zealot run-bys into the natural. It all just became a bit too much. But again, there's going to be a lot more breathing room on Winter Madness. True. A lot more breathing room. From here, we're going to be opening up. Over sent across the map, it is going to be an economic opener. Ranks expand out of Clem. Just opening up economically and going for the standard follow-up here. When it comes to openers and when it comes to even greedier styles, like there are players like Beyond, for example. Even Clem does like to mix in like 3cc 3 racks or 3 rack stim timings, things of that nature. Typically they're seen on some of the smaller maps. Speaking of, Tech Lab is on the way. Hello. Earlier Tech Lab will looks to be into an add-on swap into Cyclone, or do we go Marauder first? Yeah, add-on swap. Let's go for the swap. So early Cyclone play out of Clem. This can also lead into an early Cyclone drop as well in the aftermath. Back at home, Twilight Council out of herO. Once again, opening up Blink. But this is a very different kind of setup here from Clem compared to last time. Last game, Clem did open up Reaper Hellion. This time, none of the sort. As herO does move out. The goal for herO is just to apply pressure, potentially catch an SCV. And here he doesn't find the worker. Quick moves out of Clem. But up he gets in. Does shade into the main, picks off the Marine, a very nice pick off, and one of the SCVs is low. He wants it. Ooh, he does get it as well. Yeah, gets one Marine, gets one SCV, denies some mining. Again, this is getting a bit out of hand already. This should not have happened. Cyclone will clean up this Adept. But still a nice start for herO. Behind the safety shield battery. Going for the defensive robo. hero's just setting up. Oh, interesting. We have a Mind Drop follow-up. This is unexpected. Considering that we have the Tech Lab on the factory, usually we do make use of this and go for another Cyclone. But that is not the case here. Building up into a hidden Mind Drop. Cyclone does not catch the Stalker. And battery does come into play. I'm going back. Again, it is 3 gate, 2. 2 gate blink. 2 gate blink into the robo into a third expansion. Relatively greedy build here by herO. But again, we do expect more greed here on Winter Madness. Your start. Stalkers are getting in position here to defend against drop play. Is going to be the Mind Drop towards the natural. herO, he's ready. Blink is done.
You must construct additional pylons.
Blink is complete. Does react. Mind Drops they come in. Boys being cooled. Oh no! Oh my god, that was close. That was very close. Winter Mines are cleaned up and not a single shot goes off. Nice defense out of herO. Very clutch hold. And it's moving out. So once again, hero's going to be delaying his splash damage. He does go for the earlier forge, earlier charge into a later bay. Not by too much. It's going to be initially a little bit more gateway heavy. No high ground vision. Because of the build of choice here, we have actually really early stim out of Clem. Okay, interesting. And I'm sure herO does notice. Yeah, he walks in. He walks in. There's no tank. There's no tank here on the low ground. There's no tank on the high ground. Again, we went for the earlier add-on swap into a very fast stim, into a heavy bio setup, into an early push. Early timing. So hyper aggression here by Clem. He's going to be a lot more assertive this time. Once stim is done, he can move out. It's going to be to herO to figure out what's going on and to slow this down. So let's blink away. Away, gets a Marine. Trying to slow down the push. One more shot. Does get the Cyclone. But we trades. Yeah, Cyclone for a Stalker. Better trade for herO. Trying to come in from behind. Clem does protect his rally. Protects his reinforcements. Drop in towards the natural. herO, he has some Stalkers at him to defend. So 3. 3 Stalkers, 2 Zealots. He blinks in. Stalkers, they might be punished. They have to pull away. Oh, nice defense. Does lose a Stalker. Main army does move forward. hero's keeping up. Oof. Observer gets caught. Nice avoid there from herO. Drop back into the natural. And damage is being done. Does it 1, 2, 3, up to 4? 3. 3 probes go down. It's okay damage, but the main army is being chased down. Oof. Leaving out more mines. The aggression so far hasn't really been too successful here, only catching a couple of workers, and Clem is expanding. 3rd CC, but again, it's a much later 3rd base here for Clem. He wanted more damage with this. He wanted more. Colossus has arrived. Clem has to get the hell out of here. And he needs to pull away. He's being overwhelmed. herO doesn't chase. Okay, we're calming down. herO claiming his 4th base, just waiting for reinforcements. Behind this, there is no War Prism. But I do think that herO can bully Clem back. Let's have enough. herO spots the army. Oof. Massive swipes going off. Nice mind shot on the sentry. Very nice retargeting. Este Clem. You can see Clem try to punish. Still waits at the line. And Clem again, he has to get the hell out of here. He has to pull away. There's only one Viking. Second Viking not coming in. Thankfully, there's no War Prisms or reinforcements that delay, but they're coming. They're coming. He gets a medevac. Ooh, rough movement. Yeah, rough movement, rough control. Vikings, they move in. First Colossus is going to go down. He gets one, but there's still one left. And herO, he's just snowballing out of control. He breaks through. Bunker does hold. Bunker's holding on. Now we finally get the War Prism. It's coming. He's on it. He's struggling to break free, struggling to break out. As here, he can now reinforce. He can also micro back. He can juggle his Colossus. He can juggle. We have built up to 4 Vikings though, decent Viking count. We'll see if they can get up with the Colossi or not, as we can warp in over 8 units at a time and mass zealots. Dark Shrine behind this as well, because why not? Not even behind, by the way, just... So just forcing Clem's hands. Oh, massive volley in the Prism. Prism gets low. Army blinks in, Marauders are getting picked up one after the other. And it's a very Marauder heavy composition, but Zealots can excel here. Here a supply block. Oh, brutal supply block. But again, while it's keeping Clem busy, mass expanding. Just taking more bases, taking more expansions. Here still has that greater economy. Catching reinforcements. Well, he's trying to. Oof. A bit of an awkward angle here from herO. But again, does collapse in. Where's that Prism? Colossus goes down. Massive pickoff. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There are just too many Zealots to get away Army of Worms. GG gets called, and herO, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. Whew, GG. GG, well played again. Clem, he was trying to be hyper aggressive this game. As a reminder, Clem, he didn't make a single tank. He went into early stim, early combat shields, early Marauder production, a heavy bio army, but he failed to break through. If you recall, there was basically a window in time where Clem could maybe get damage done before the Colossus, and he was going for a split push. He was going for a drop. Oh. He was going for drops into the natural main push towards the right-hand side, but herO was slowing down the push. He was buying time, he was picking up units, and he did successfully buy enough time until the Colossus arrived. And once the Colossus popped out, then herO just dominated the map, just bullied back Clem, took better fights, better trades, and Clem fell apart. Did fall apart then and there. Whew. And with that, herO, he's up 2-0. He needs uno más. One more game to claim the series to become our champion. Can Clem fight back and make a series out of this? The pressure is on Clem. Pressure's on. Here we go. As we are loading into Ruby Rock. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. Representing Team Liquid down in the series. We'll see if you can bounce back. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the South Green Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. The duck does blink, yes. Did you only just now notice? It does blink, Pappy. Ah. He's winking at you. Aye, aye, aye. Like, Clem could have come back from there. It was still kind of even. What moment are you referring to? Again, because of the momentum that, so winding it back, because of the failed aggression from Clem, it meant that he had to relinquish map control. It also means that without any tanks, he has a weaker position defensively, and that is why herO was trading so well with the Colossus, with his gateway composition. On top of that, because herO had map control, he was up by 2 bases. herO was getting like a 5th expansion, while Clem was struggling to maintain a 3rd base, which was also delayed as well. Remember, it was a delayed 3rd expansion on top of that, so there was a lot working against Clem there. So I would push back against that. A lot of it came down to just the stim timing. The stim timing, the initial aggressive move from Clem needs to get more damage done there. After that failed, like, it all just snowballed out of control. It all just snowballed. So I would not say it was even from that moment. From here, though, we're going to be settling into game number 3. herO does open up, just get expand, standard opener. Likewise, eyes are on Clem once again, going for, oh, actually, double gas. I think for the first time in the series. For the first time in the series, double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC, a much more aggressive start. Now, is Clem the kind of player to one base all in? is he willing? If you were casting Maru, then that'd be on the table. Ryung as well. From here, going Reaper into Reactor into early factory. CC on the high grounds. Does expand. Yes, it's a cheeky duck back. True. Quack. From here, just going for a standard opener, Twilight Council into Blink. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock does favor more aggression, shorter rushes and spike rounds. Open third bases. Open natural. Probe Scouts, I believe, does see the factory timing. Okay. Does see the earlier factory. herO knows. He also gets eyes on the reactor as well. We should be seeing at least a battery at the natural. For now, Clem does poke in. Ooh. Yeah, it does trade 1 for 1. We prefer probe. And we're setting up for the early drop. Now, I'm curious if it's just going to be a vanilla mine drop or if we do mix in some Marines as well. Yeah, Marines are amassing, so this is going to be a little bit more dedicated, a little bit more committed. Do we go tank into Viking? Okay, never mind. Never mind. Going for the add-on swap. So not too dedicated. With this, he can move out. Now, the goal here, if you recall, it was what, like 2 years ago where Maro and Bjorn popularized this style. 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, at GSL and coming into DreamHack Dallas, as all the CC is going to be denied. Just as Clem moves out, he cannot defend. As CC is going to be denied, but again, the goal here is for economic damage. The Widowmine, ideally, you don't want to waste it on the probes. You want to save it, hold on to it for the Stalkers, and Marines, they focus on the mineral line instead. As here comes the drop, does force a recall. Does force a recall back home. Probes are stacking. Mine shot, ooh, does connect. Catching out a Stalker. Yeah, Stalker goes down, 2 probes as well. Clem does sort of step into the main. Catching up more probes, getting up to 4, 5, 6. Not 5. 5 probe kills. Go jumping to low ground. Does get 1 more. And not bad. 6 probes, denied mining time, and even forcing the recall, allowing Clem to actually expand. Again, if he wants for that recall, Clem will be still stuck on 1 base. He'll be stuck on 1 expansion. So a very strong start here for Clem. Behind this, claiming his low ground, went for the initial Banshee. I believe no cloak. Yep, no cloak, no Hyperflight Rotors, just vanilla Banshee play here by Clem into the Raven. Into said mid-game. We spoke about this previously, but it's very common in TVP for Protoss players to get an early Robo. Even here, early Robo out of herO, so going into Cloak is a big risk just because there's a very high chance that your opponent has Observers. Just in the current meta of TVP. And we saw that in the Percival series, true. As hero's moving out, so rushing into charge. Still no expansion, by the way. Hero is very dedicated. Very late 3rd expansion. Oh, he's 2 base all in. Okay. 4 more gates get thrown down. He bleeds into the main. Does not catch the medevac. Medevac does pull away in time. Banshee does defend. Raven as well. Here he's forced out. And again, herO throws down 4 gates. 4 gates instead of a 3rd Nexus. It's a straight up 2 base all in out of herO. Hyper dedicated. And can he even break Clem? We'll see. Clem is now getting to 3 tanks. So far he's defending well. I believe Clem has not scouted across the map. He's not fully aware of what's going on. He's unaware. Just the 1 bunker. Stopping at 3 tanks, building his bio army. It all comes down to the engage. And it's all or nothing for herO. And he will at least catch the tank, catch the bunker, but can he get on top of the tank, more importantly? As the tank is behind the mineral line. There is no stim. Charge lets him get in. Bunker goes down. And again, can he get on top of that tank? The boys are being pulled. Mass repair on the tank, and the tank, oh, does go down. Massive bigger, gets the tank. The tank goes down. Pays off some SCVs. We need more than this, though. We need more than this. So far, 4 SCV kills. Stalkers, they are being cleaned up. There's only 3 Stalkers left. Prism coming in from behind. Where are the warp-ins? Oh, they are late. But does warp into the mineral line. 13 SCVs is getting out of hand. 13 SCV kills. We need more damage. Remember, herO is all in. Clem still has a better economy. And Clem holds. Yeah, Clem is holding on. We'll lose 14 SCVs, but Clem still has 35 workers plus mules against 38 probes from herO. And remember, still no expansion, still no follow-up. herO is still very much so all in. He has to kill here and now. The mines! Nice go off. Nice split. Decent split. Boys are being pulled. The tank does get focused down. And no more tanks. Just the bio army. Stim is done in 1 second. Just now kicking in. And Clem holds. Yeah, Clem he does hold on. Stim is now done. He can chase down the army. Catching up the Stalkers. Oh no, catching up 2 more. Yeah, more Stalkers going in. Going to the prism. Denies the warp in. Just barely. Denies the warp in. No more warp in. No more reinforcements. Now the Stalker goes down. And this is the army. 1 immortal, 2 Stalkers. Prism's being rebuilt, defensive warping instead. Now we start to take gas being taken, Forge as well. Oof. Yeah, here he admits that he has failed in the all-in. He can no longer kill, and he's going to try to macro out of this. He will try. When behind, Dark Shrine. I mean, that it can work. Why not? Going for DTs. Now, given the game state here, DTs could actually be detrimental just because Clem, he is very, I mean, he's incentivized to mule, right? He's muling his heart out right now because of the weaker economy, because of the 2-base setup, because of the SCVs. He wants to mule. Does scan for the Observer. Goes for his own Ginger, but at the same time, here does drop in as well. Oh. Here he spots a 3rd. We'll get into the mineral lines. Catching out 5, 6 SCVs. Oh, this is getting out of hand. Brutal damage. Prism does get away. At the same time, triple drop into the main. No recalls available. Ooh, there is a recall at the natural. And the army turns around. Army races back home. Better trade here for Clem. He also scouts the Dark Shrine. He knows. He sees. He's aware of the Dark Templar. There's a scan. Takes 1 down. Highland's going to be falling as well. And again, here he's still racing back home. Again, he did not recall. And this is becoming too much. Depowers almost everything. Depowers the gates. Trades against the Gateway Army. Sword Brute of some city, even catching the Observer. Ah, no. And here's been crippled. Here he is crippled. The one thing keeping herO in this is the 3rd base. Still no 3rd CC for Clem, as it did not restart. That's unfortunate. This should have been done by now. So big delay in the 3rd. As it was left idle. But Clem still has the army, right? He still has momentum, still has a massive army to work with, even without the 3rd CC. He is pushing. And GG. GG, not even a final fight here as herO taps out and Clem does fight back, does put a point on the board. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, just a brutal start for herO, committing into, I say committing, but in a sense being forced into the all-in. He did commit to double down and the all-in did fail. Clem may have lost a bunch of workers, but he just had to buy time for Stim. Once Stim kicked in, herO was shut down. Shut down. GG, well played. With that, we do have a back and forth. We have a series. We have a series. Let's go. So we're getting to game number 4. The pressure is still on Clem. Clem needs to win this game to force the ace match. Meanwhile, herO needs to win this game to claim the series. Let's go. As we're loading into Storm. We're loading into Storm Push. Let's go. One of my favorite maps. True. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Storm Push, we have the blue Terran player. We have the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And the pressure's on. He has to win this game to force the ace match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. One game away from claiming the series. It is a herO. And welcome to Storm Push. Now, bearing in mind this is Storm Push, this is not Storm Surge. Storm Surge is the map that you can soon vote on in the Team Liquid map contest. This is the modded version of the map, which does feature the strong tide in the center. Basically, the drainage here, the tide of the water, does actually push your units away or it does accelerate your units depending on the direction. So again, if you push against it, your units will slow down quite heavily. If you move with it, then they're sped up instead. So there's a fun little feature, but again, bearing in mind that this is a heavily modded version of the map, and because of all the mods, because of all the modifications made to the map and made to the values and made to make this happen, to make this work, it's actually ineligible for the Team Liquid map contest. Just bear that in mind. So the TLMC version doesn't have that feature. Doesn't have it. As here it does open up, gate expand. And here we can zoom. We can zoom back. Beautiful. And then ideally you do want to go around this area if you go for scouting, as we are heavily slowed down. Does make it fast. Like Clem. See, Clem, he does avoid. Yeah, it does avoid that section. This can, of course, impact main army engagements, main army movements, and main army rotations as well. Can affect your rally. So you do have to be careful. Oh, hello. As herO, he does dip in. herO, he does scout the initial the initial CC. Does scout the greedier build, and okay, we're just going back in. We're going back in. We just avoid the Reaper. Reaper is avoided. Probe does move forward, and we will be able to cause a nuisance. Never mind. Here, going to be zoned back. And once again, Twilight Council. Twilight Council into most likely blink. To be fair, last game we did see earlier charge. I mean, it'll still blink as an opener into charge, into an all-in. We should be seeing that here, though. Shouldn't be. herO once again does keep that probe hidden. Moving on up. So far, nice movement with the Reaper. Oh, just gets rounded. Oh my god. Yeah, takes that one. Trades 1-1 here, and with that, a better trade for herO. Catching out the Reaper, and oh my god, we're going for the Dark Shrine just straight up. A bold move. This is very risky. Big gamble here. Big gamble from herO. When it comes to TVP, this early on, there's a very high chance. I mean, I say high chance, depending on the timing, of course, as units are slowly making their way across. Oh, we can make it. We can make it. Oh my god. But because of the build itself, there's a chance that there's not going to be a scan available. If we mule at the wrong moment, if we mule at the wrong time, then DTs can waddle in and they can end the game straight up. We have seen games just straight up end once DTs arrive if there's no scan. So far, just focus on 3 Marines. 3 Marines are focused down. Nice PiGosaur here with the Stalker. Does avoid the surround, picks up another Marine. Oh, yeah, does soften off that Marine count. Likewise, does force lost mining time as well. Doesn't force friendly fire towards the end. And here comes that proxy pylon. Oh boy. Now I'm hoping that at least we have an add-on swap here. No. Okay. There's the add-on swap, which means we could see an add-on swap into Raven. So blindly we can have detection available. DT's warping in. No, he's going Cloak Banshee. No Raven. Oh god. Okay. So no Raven. DT's warping in, and do we have a scan available? So we're soon to have a scan at the natural, the main base, not at all. So we do have the energy for it. Does he mule? Does he mule? T9 mules! God damn it. GT does waddle in and zero detection. Zero detection. We cancel the Banshees. We start the Raven. SCVs are going to start going down. Second DT into natural. Zero mining whatsoever. At the same time, drop across the map. And here does he react in time. Ooh, going to be starting to lose some probes. It's going to be 2 probes going down. GG. GG gets called. As I mentioned, almost the instant GG. Clem, he muled at the wrong moment. He didn't know what was going on. And herO will claim the series. And herO is going to be our champion. GG. The power of the Invisible Man. Again, very, very unlucky, very unfortunate that Clem did mule just as his macro is too good. You know, as soon as he had 50 minerals, he muled, so he had no scan available. Likewise, not just that, but he also happened to be going into Banshee, not Raven. He was going to cloak Banshee. That's another risk. That's another thing that could have been going his way. He could have already had a Raven in production, but did decide to go Banshee. So again, this is all just a big gamble out of herO. He's like, I need the stars to align that you mule at the wrong moment or at the right moment, and that you don't make a Raven. And the stars aligned. GG. GG, well played. Again, this does happen at the highest level of play, where games can just instantly end. It happens in TVP and in PvP. Same thing happens with like Max Packs, Classic, and herO, where you can go Dark Templar in PvP and just instantly win the game. Like that also does happen as well. To the best Protoss players in the world. See, David's a man. It's pretty good. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations here to herO, as again he does claim the series. He's going to be the PiGosaur Cup number 76 champion. GG. GG. Maybe not the way we would have liked the game to have ended. That's one of the things with the Dark Templars. Does allow for games like this to occur from time to time. Thankfully not too common, but whenever they happen, it feels bad, man. Like it's just, yeah, it doesn't feel good as the player, right? Like if you're Clem, you're just playing out your game and then it's like, oh, DT's arrive. Oh, that's just game. This is GG. Like this. Well, what can you do? Well, what can you do? So it feels bad, man. Bamboozle T, Baby C. But with that, congratulations, and with that, we are going to be wrapping up for the morning. Again, herO is going to be our champion here for PiGosaur Cup number 76. And if you want some more PiGosaur Cup action, let's head on over here to our schedule. So we just wrapped up with our Tuesday morning broadcast, and as you can see here, this weekly graphic has not been updated, but tomorrow morning we have the live coverage of PiGosaur Cup number 80. We are going to be live covering that event, so PiGosaur Cup 80 is going to be in less than 24 hours. Meanwhile, later on tonight is not going to be Kung Fu Cup. Later on tonight is Sparkling and Tuna Cup. The STC, that is our weekly tournament. It is like the equivalent of the PiGosaur Cup, but at a better time for Koreans, so we typically have more Korean signups. It's a little bit early for Europeans. I think it's at like 11 a.m. in Europe, so a lot of the Europeans are still sleeping. So a little bit less European representation, a little bit more Korean representation. That is going to be in around 7 hours. No, 6. Around 6 hours time, we're going to be live with the Tuna Cup. Usually the Tuna Cups are over the weekend, but right now RSL is going on. Right, RSL is over the weekend, so we don't want to clash with RSL. Most people are watching that, so it does kind of hurt us if we try to run a tournament over that event. So we're waiting for RSL to wrap up, and then we're going back to the weekly schedule. Until then, it is during the week for the Tuna Cup. Likewise, GSL is also this week, so there's just a lot of StarCraft going on when it comes to Premier StarCraft with RSL and GSL. We do live cast GSL every single week. If you missed the VODs, I do recommend them, but we do live cover the event. Shout out to Soup for providing us the clean feed to be able to cast it live. So we do cast these GSL live, but remember, we don't cast GSL live here on Twitch because the event is organized and run by Soup. They have exclusive rights to live streaming on their streaming platform. If you don't know what Soup is like the Korean equivalent of Twitch. Soup is Afrika TV rebranded. So Afrika TV, if you know what that is, they did rebrand as Soup instead. So we only live cast GSL over on Soup. As you can see, bam, there's a link in the chat. If you're interested. If you don't want to watch it live, then you can watch the VODs over the weekend. That's why you can see there's GSL on Wednesday and Thursday. That's the live cast. And then you can see GSL on Saturday and Sunday. That is the VOD rebroadcast over on other platforms. It's going to be the VOD rebroadcast. That's over the weekend. The reasoning why it's a couple of days after the fact is because there is a restriction. We do have to wait 48 hours. It's like a 48-hour cooldown period after the live cast where we are then able to share that VOD. That is the limitations, restrictions of casting GSL live. So that's going to be throughout the course of the week, of course. We also have some StarCraft Evolution later on in the week as well. So if you're interested in some SC Evo content, we have that on Friday. Yeah, on Friday. That's going to be StarCraft Evolution League doubles. We have the podcast. The podcast is going to be on Friday as well. We did miss out on the podcast last week just because we were so busy with so much casting and so much content. So that might be a bit of a longer podcast. We'll see. We might have to split up some things just to make things work, but the podcast is going to be on Friday, and we have what else? We have Sea Looking Open over the weekend. SDO is going to be on Saturday, and we have more Thermal 2-2 action on Sunday. Ooh, Thermal is going to be on Sunday. That's going to be the last chance qualifier, last chance event. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. ! Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournament on a regular basis. It funds our tuning cups, of course. 6 p.m. KST is 4 a.m. Central Time. Crazy time. Yes. 6 p.m. KST. That's at a rough time for the Americas region, for the Americas. Whether you're in North America or Latino America. It's a rougher time. That's where like our Open Cup is more European, Korean friendly, and then like PiGosaur Cup is more Americas friendly. True. And then you have like Monday Night Weekly, which is like pure European. But otherwise with that, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And again, we'll see you guys next time. If you want to support us in other ways, you can do so by following us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Soup, all the platforms, all things CranKy Ducklings. If you see something that you like here, and if you're like, I want to watch GSL, I want to watch Kung Fu Cup, I want to watch Tuna Cup or RSL, but you can't watch it live, VODs are the place to be. YouTube, over on YouTube. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Stick around, we'll be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Take care. Hasta luego. Ciao. Hasta luego.